We need a one-off intro. Jim, do one beat.
Boop.
You do. God.
No, I did that once for the vote to kick outro, and I never did it again. Mostly because I keep forgetting to do the vote to kick outro.
This is E3, the wrap-up story. This is how it ends in 2019. Is it gonna come back? Probably not, but we never know. Thank you. Finally, someone does it, but I was kind of wrapping up my own wrap-up of it already. But all right, well,
I will contribute to your horrible rap.
It's the wrap-up.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no, don't make dad jokes.
Dayo is like a dad joke elemental. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
oh, I want part of that. Though we're already off the beaten path, and we haven't even, we just only did the screw it. That was the whole theme song for this episode. There's
Yay!
yeah, so E3 2019, we are doing this on Friday, June 14th. So E3 is completely done.
Dunzos.
Actually, I heard something kind of sad. It was from the Giant Bomb podcast. Well, they're not sure if it happened this time, but apparently they were saying maybe this was probably when like it was just the media that would go. Apparently, at the end of the show, like when it was the last closing thing, they would play taps across the PA system.
Aww.
But they were, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's done, yay!" And
yeah,
but
I was
apparently,
gonna say if you're working it, by the time you get to the end of
exactly,
convention, you're like, "Oh, thank God."
But something tells me now that like more people come through there because they were like, "I don't think it played this time," and so I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't why that was the case. But it was kind of interesting to know that they did that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about all the E3 coverage that we're kind of interested in, and probably hit upon some of the stuff that, like if we're overlooking some things, I'll be like, oh hey, what about this thing? And we'll probably say don't care about it and move on. But if you do, let us know. But I mean, do we want to go in order of the events that happened, or just like popularity of what people want to talk about?
May as well just go in chronological.
Yeah, because then we can end with the best ones.
So we're going in reverse chronological.
No.
Devolver wasn't last.
Okay, Dayo, hit us with your sales pitch. Google, go.
Well,
Are we like sponsored by them now? Is there at least a reason for this?
I mean, Google, if you want.
Go. Sponsor us. I'll take that Google money.
I'm not saying no.
As long as it's not tied up in ad revenue. I've heard YouTubers with that issue.
Yeah.
Hey, Tavik.
Do you want to explain Stadia first?
Yeah. So, well, the first, and people are gonna initially say like, oh, well, they weren't. This wasn't like an E3 press conference. It's all the gaming stuff that happened around that because a couple groups kind of didn't, but they had presence on the show floor. So,
yeah,
but because technically EA didn't happen in the conference place,
Right.
But we're gonna talk about them as well. But yeah, first up was Google Stadia, which kind of happened before all of E3. They were like, "Oh, we can't wait," and they kind of did what like Nintendo does, like a recorded, just presentation, live stream type thing, and just kind of talked about it. So for people that don't know, Google Stadia, it is Google's attempt at, well, I know a lot of people say console, but the best way to probably say it is platform, because console would kind of be misleading because it's not really.
Well, their goal is to make a console for the average person, because like consoles as they are still viewed very much as luxury items, because they cost $300, $400, $500, whatever. So this is a lower cost alternative is what they're going for, basically.
Which I think they did achieve that, if you can, and we'll get to all the stuff, if you can make the background specification, like, because there is going to be that issue, and it's been an issue that people keep saying, but yeah, it happened 9 a.m. Pacific time on June 6th, but they started to announce they were promising their launch, like what they were going to launch with, their release date, and I believe price point were like the three things they said at the very get-go. And some of the launch games, I think this was a first premiere for this game, but it was Baldur's Gate 3. Like I didn't see it. There was rumors, I know, prior to, but I don't think, I mean, granted, I guess it had to be the first because it was literally the first thing that was kind of showed off in the E3 realm. But a couple other games like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, some what looked like indie games like Guilt or Jilt, I don't know, GYLT. Of course, they're bringing like the Division 2. I saw stuff on there like actually the Elder Scrolls Online, which I'm definitely interested in. I'm still have questions about it, but they also have some fighting games on there. I know that was a big like pushing point of like a lot of people were scared of that, and they were, you know, I feel like there was more fighting games on there just to be like, no guys, it'll be great, we promise, like ahead of time, where a lot of people were like, But they had a good cross section of games. Like they had some sports, they had some action, they had you know, kind of like an MMO. You know, I think they hit kind of a good cross section of all the genres. And I'm curious if this is going to be their only launch titles, or it's like this is what they have secured right now, because they did say that the launch date will be sometime in November of 2019, so it still is keeping with the promise of this year. But with a little caveat, that will be the important part there. It's but yeah, I'm curious if they're like, oh, these are the ones we have secured now, and maybe they'll announce more down the road or something.
There's a lot more down the road.
Well, I mean leading up to like the launch, like they might have more launch titles and not just.
Yeah, I think they will, just because like some of the games are coming out later this year. Will probably be on Stadia as well. I believe.
I was say that's a good point, because I think one that wasn't listed there originally that showed up, we'll talk about later, is the Square Enix's Avengers game. Like, because people actually saw before the conference that like they had like the advertisement banners and it had the little Stadia logo on it. So people were like, well, I guess it's coming to Stadia.
Right.
Yeah.
So, though granted, when, well, we'll talk about that later. Granted, I guess that doesn't count as a launch title because it's not coming out
right
when the game launches.
Yeah,
or when
launch
the console
titles
launches.
are just strictly what
Yeah.
if you buy the console day one, what can you play right then?
Yeah. And so yeah, they said launch date was sometime in November. And what I'm interested by is the price point, because that was a big sticking point for people. We already knew previously that you could play it on anything that could run the idea behind it is you could run anything from their data centers, like any game that's on their platform. And you could run it on any Google Chrome browser.
Yeah. You run on Pixel and Chromebook, I think it was as well. And basically they were saying at the very get-go, I think, was the Pixel 3 would be supported, but they're going to any computer with a Chrome browser, Chromecast Ultra, and they're planning on adding more phones, they said, to that list and stuff, but I guess it's just a slow rolling out process. Also, you know, they pushed the Stadia controller, which it's supposedly going to be the best way to experience the platform. I keep wanting to say system, but I don't know. It's platform. I don't actually proper word. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can use any supported controller, which I'm gonna guess is like a USB style controller. They didn't clarify really on that, but they also said mouse and keyboard, which, I mean, I would assume USB unless they're going like old school with like the actual.
That is,
which would be impressive.
That's actually a good question. If you could use mouse and keyboard, I don't actually remember that.
Well, they said mouse and keyboard, like so okay. It was mouse and keyboards, any supported controller, and of course this Stadia controller. Cool. And so I think what comes down to it, because people are like, this is too good to be true, it's like you really don't need a console except if like you don't have a smart TV or something that has the Chrome browser. Yes, you would need the Chromecast Ultra, which I think normally is around $50. So if you are coming in with nothing, it's like $50 for, and maybe you have a controller from a different console or something. $50 for a console isn't bad, but I think the Stadia controllers are $69.99, or they are coming out with white, light blue, or sorry, white, black. I thought it was light blue, but actually it's wasabi.
Yeah, gotta get that wasabi.
Yeah. So that's $69.99, but like I said, that's not a necessary thing. That's to get the best possible, I guess, low latency, because I guess it goes directly to their servers as they claim. But they did say the premium subscription for Stadia Pro is going to be $9.99 a month, and that is, you know, USD. But they do talk about the features of that. That is to have the ability to stream at 4K 60 frames a second, and also stream up to 4K 60 frames a second. And that's streaming like as I'm streaming to you guys right now, not because once again, that's the weird technical thing, because you are streaming it to yourself, but also in that case streaming it to the on YouTube, I'm assuming. But yeah, the interesting thing about that is it's like, oh, okay, well, $9.99 a month for that like a subscription model. Well, that adds up quickly. Apparently, and if you look at it on their website, this is coming out at a later date, is the free option. So if you want it in November, I think is the $9.99 option, which my guess
frees up to 1080p, right?
Yes, and that's kind of the difference is the free option, you can only stream up to 1080p at 60 frames, or stream to like YouTube and whatnot to viewers at 1080p and I think 30 frames.
Right.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
It's still a sweet deal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that one's, like I said, free. If, I mean, granted, yeah, and like we were saying before, if you want to use another type of controller or a mouse and keyboard, like if you're doing it on your own TV or not TV, like computer or something, as long as you have the browser, it literally isn't, there's no buy-in for 1080p. I mean, unless you have 4K monitors, which I think going back to like what Robin was saying is they're trying to get a console for like the lower end like hardware stuff.
Yeah.
My only problem with this, and it's not the internet, it's not the data caps, it's not all that. What do I have when Google gets bored in 2 years? Like they do with so many other offerings.
Right.
Do I have a piece of plastic? A controller that does nothing? A box that does nothing? What do I have at the end of this?
Yeah.
I mean, that's is ultimately one concern, but I mean, I like how people put that out, but there are so many companies out there that do that. Like,
oh yeah. No,
like it's just like odd that people are like pinpointing on Google. And yeah, but I agree. Google is guilty of that. I mean, Google Glass.
There's the difference there is more the fact that, yeah, there are other companies that do that, but those other companies aren't Google.
Yeah. Well, and there's also the question, like, you know, if the government ever stops being dumb and actually, I don't know, starts looking at companies that are just too damn large, Google's a prime subject for that. And like, depending on how that goes, it could totally mess with the Stadia stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stadia has to become its own company and, you know, move from there. And then if they don't have the Google money, and then they break apart and then they're gone. It's just,
though, in honesty, like you bring that up, to be fair, I could never see that happening in my lifetime or my kids and their kids' lifetime.
With the government actually doing something useful like it's supposed to.
Well, yeah, because like if you think about it, like, you know, when people talk about like Coke and Pepsi and stuff, it's like all those like food places are owned by like 3 companies, if that, like 1 or 2 or something. Like it's like it all trickles back to one, like a few.
I suppose it's one of those things where it's like one of the bigger deals with streaming stuff is they don't have to keep putting out a hardware update every few years. So you then have to look past that to the longevity of the company running the service.
Right.
Yeah. And if Google is going to get Google bored with Stadia after 2 years, like after they've already gotten all the analytics data from all the people that they've gotten, and they've already made all of the money they can off of that, and they move on to the next thing.
I think it's more going to be like, is this profitable?
And I was saying, and they are slow
Right.
rolling it. I think right now it's going to just be U.S. I think UK. There was a list. Hold on, let me pull it up.
There's
real quick.
14 countries,
Yeah,
it's like US, Canada, and a bunch of European countries.
I was saying I know more of the ones that aren't in it because I think every tweet response is like, why isn't it in India? Why isn't it in this one? Why isn't it in this? So I like know all the other ones that it's not.
Right.
But-
Yeah.
But for people that want, there is a special offer. This is as close to a console console launch title price point as I guess you can get. Is their Founders Edition, which is $129, and you get a Chromecast Ultra, which, like I said, comes around to about $50. Their limited edition Night Blue controller, which okay.
I like that.
It is a good color.
And nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying it's not a price. It's not a selling point for me. But 3-month pro access, and which I think is so smart on their part, a 3-month buddy pass, which gives them the
Yeah.
pro plan. Which
Yeah.
with this 3-month pro thing access, I think, like they said, the free option is. I think they're going to try to shoot for rolling it out. The 3 months after the November release, so probably January, February. That way it gets people,
Yeah.
keeps them in the ecosystem if their thing lapses.
Right. My
But
other concern, I was just gonna say, because so I don't know if maybe I misunderstood something somewhere, but like with the subscription, you get like all of the past catalog with that, but you don't get new games. You would still have to pay full price for new games.
Oh.
Think of it kind of like how
It's like Steam, pretty much.
Mhm.
that or Xbox we'll talk about later, announced a thing that combined their Xbox Live Gold and their Game Pass.
Mhm.
And so basically, or think of it like people have saying, but we're saying prior to it, think of like Amazon's thing. You get a catalog of certain amount of movies or games in this situation, but not if you want a new one, you're going to have to pay the $59.99 or whatever the price point is.
My main concern there is we have no idea of when a game goes from being new to being old and therefore included with the old catalog. You
Mhm.
know,
I think it-
that variance on there could make it fine or okay, or
And it-
make it kind of like okay.
And it could be based on like publisher deals, like
True.
okay,
like some games
with
might be one thing, and the other one's another one.
yeah, they might be like, well, we have a contract with Ubisoft that their games aren't considered old, can be put in that category for 6 months, whereas EA's 3 months or whatever. It might go
Right.
like that. It was what I would think possibly,
Mhm.
especially because it seems
Yeah.
like they're doing a lot of tweaking, which they talk about later in an interview. And then it kind of got put on display later on, but they also talked about that companies like EA or Ubisoft, like publishers, can have basically put a catalog of their games on for a monthly price
Mhm.
that is on top of the Stadia Pro, or which is important, is you do not need Stadia Pro for it. So because a lot of people were saying later on, especially we'll talk about with the Ubisoft section where they announced their Uplay Plus, I think it was,
Yeah.
where people, I think they were making it $10 or $15, and people were like, "Oh, great! With Stadia, I have to pay $25." If you want if you want Stadia Pro, and that, if you just want to play, the Ubisoft catalog
Yeah.
at 1080p 60 frames in the standard version of it, then you only have to pay 15. Like, I think that's important to note. It's not a requirement. Kind of like how Xbox Live Gold, it's like, oh, I got all these games. Oh, if I want to play multiplayer, I need Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah.
So you
My
have to have
other-
the subscription.
But they have a solution for that too, which we'll get into.
My other question with it is if they're going for the market that doesn't have fancy computers and monitors, doesn't have the fancy consoles and all of that, I am curious with the incentivization of the higher resolution and the higher frames, if for that segment of the gaming population, if they're going to care, because the
That's a good
people who
point.
spend money on those things, they care a lot about that, especially their frames. You don't mess with people's frames because they freak out. But
Mhm.
like for the people who are not invested money wise into the system like that, I'm not sure that they're going to be incentivized to pay the subscription because of those things.
I honestly think that where they're going to make their money mostly is probably from the deals they make with like Ubisoft, EA, and stuff like these
Right.
subscription service things you can add on to it.
Mhm.
And if anybody buys the controller for the best gaming experience on their platform.
Right.
But like you're saying, the $9.99 a month, it, like you said, 1080p 30 frames for free. Like, how many people have a 4K television? Like that's what that's what I was telling people that were thinking about getting an Xbox One X, and I was like,
Mhm.
I was like, well, the difference between an S and an X is about 7 seconds of load time, draw distance, which it's like, oh, I can see that mountain that's 100 feet
Right.
away. Who cares if you're a more casual gamer? Or 4K, it's like, do you have a 4K TV? No. Well, the 1S can upscale it. It's like in this situation, most people probably still have 1080p displays, and
Mhm.
isn't a common thing with consoles, like except for like maybe this, like the Xbox One X's and the PS4 Pros, weren't they like locked at 30 frames? Like now they're bumping it to 60 frames.
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It very much depends on the game.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, it seems like the free version is very much for the casual person that might just be like, well, then I want all access to the Ubisoft games, and more than likely we'll see
Right.
one for EA. I wouldn't be surprised. They're
Yeah.
already doing it.
Yeah.
And like, whatever other companies will be out there, but
Yeah, I'm more interested in people who have like data caps,
Oh, yeah.
because like I don't know about in the States, because it sounds like Chromecast or Comcast, sorry, would just be a nightmare.
Comcast. Yeah.
Comcast would be a
Well,
nightmare.
like that is true. A lot of people with internet, and especially again, if you're not talking to the connoisseurs who pay a lot of money for really good internet every month, that it's quite likely they will have caps on their data.
Yeah, because apparently I read an article where 65 hours of playing a Google Stadia game will be like 1 terabyte.
Oh my
And
God.
that's like a complete AAA game story playthrough. So
Yeah.
but on what setting? Like what setting are they talking on?
I'm gonna assume Pro, just because
Mhm.
that's the first thing. That's
Because
been
I was gonna say they actually put up a chart of, yes, for the best possible 4K HDR video, 60 frames per second, 5.1 surround sound. They're saying 35. I get so confused because
that'll be, yeah, but
it's different than, it's like
even
megabit something, I don't know, because it's so different
Yeah,
for what the internet
so 30,
providers.
Yeah, so 4K you need 35 megabits per second.
And then 1080 is 20, and then 720 is 10.
Yeah, but people are gonna try to do the 4K thing. Like,
I really hope not. I definitely could see people, but I really hope not, because once again, how many people have 4K?
well, I'm gonna average out 1080p,
Mm-hmm.
but even at 1080p, that's still half a terabyte with 65 hours.
Yeah, it's
around.
still gonna
It's still
push on
pretty
people
hefty,
to do the
no?
caps. And that's assuming they're not doing anything else with their internet,
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I don't think it is designed for people with the data caps or are very aware of micromanaging. Like, and that I think that is the one biggest thing that I've heard from other people saying is, who is this really for? Like,
well, that's kind of
like,
what
what's
I
the
was
population?
getting at. They
Yeah.
seem to be
Yeah.
aiming at not the really the serious gamers that have all the things and pay the all the money for the best internet. Like I
Yeah.
feel like the people who have the lower services are within their main target
The
audience. which could be an issue
Interesting.
for them.
There is one other problem. I know this existed for Comcast at some point in time ago. I don't know if it's still a problem, but Sony has a proprietary data encryption, and Comcast would basically unzip that. They would it was a proprietary compression format for Sony's data. Comcast would pull that apart in order to be able to scan the data as it came into your modem, and they would count the uncompressed value towards your data cap.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
I wonder if the data centers take care of that.
And well, that's the thing, is it depends on how the data is sent. So if they have a proprietary format and they send it, the ISP can, rip that apart and then basically say, here's the raw data uncompressed, and that's what you get.
Right.
So,
I mean, kind of tinfoil hat moment here, but because while you're saying that, I'm thinking of, oh yeah, and we're now living in the, at least in the U.S., the unfortunate age of basically they can screw us how they want, the internet companies, but because it's supposed to enhance a more open market. But do you think this is a kind of long play by Google, because they're like, okay, well, we have the want to put Google Fiber in everywhere.
Yeah.
This is going to drive people, and it's like, well, this is what you guys wanted, internet, service providers, like, and
yeah. I think honestly, that's another thing actually that I was kind of questioning is the amount that you require to actually stream the games. Because when I saw 35 megabits per second for 4K, 5.1 surround sound at 60 frames a second, I was like,
well, and,
I assume
that's
that's
like
dedicated.
asterisk under best conditions of blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like,
I assume that's dedicated, obviously, but
yeah,
like I was still a little skeptical. But
the problem I have with your, well, this is Google trying to force ISPs to change, Dayo, is that they'll just turn around and say it's Google's fault.
Yep.
It's the fault of the service, not the fault of the ISP.
Yep.
And there's no way to prove it otherwise, because what are you going to test it on? The other data connection you have in your house? If you're so lucky as to have 2 ISPs available in your area.
Does that exist anymore? Like, does anybody have a choice?
I can give you the
Okay.
Verizon
I have a
Comcast.
choice.
Wow.
but
You're in
I
Canada,
would-
you don't count.
I would be curious about that. Of where would you get your information more readily available, from your internet service provider, or like I've seen a lot of times with Google when you're on YouTube and it starts stuttering, it's like, hey, you're experiencing slowdowns. This is why. Hit the
But the thing is,
they educate themselves
both
through that way.
have, like, invested reasons to lie to you. Like,
Oh, yes.
they want
No,
to tell
they're
you
both
what
businesses.
will make them mad at the other people. Like, you can't really trust either source of
No,
information.
they are both businesses.
Yeah, there's no legal requirement for transparency in that particular case, so they can lay the blame. It's just the blame game at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think we're getting away from E3 and we're getting to the
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, I was just gonna
Move
cut it
on
off
from the
there because
Stadia and
we spent a
Google.
lot of time on Stadia as well. But
Yeah.
But
um,
I am interested in Stadia though. I just like new
It's
technology.
interesting. I don't
I
think
won't
I will
disagree
ever
with that.
get one, but it's interesting.
I'm tempted to buy Foundries though.
I
to, like-
won't be getting one until November because I did pre-order one.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm curious about the tech, and like I'm
Yeah.
interested in the stuff that we'll talk about later with what they
Right.
announced at the Bethesda one. Like I don't know, I'm always interested in like tech and like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
All right.
I don't understand any of it, but yeah. So
I'll explain it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
yeah, so yeah, well, we can always, if we'll put this up on YouTube or something, and if you want to talk more about Google Stadia, I'd love to in the comments. But yeah, next up, I think wasn't all the way till Saturday, which was the EA Play live stream, which was held on June 8th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So this one was outside of the convention, but still in the
Right.
area because they did have a presence on the floor with some of their games.
Mm-hmm.
They did have a list of, I think they released the list early, so people kind of already knew what to expect. But yeah, the first game that they were showing off was Jedi Fallen Order, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yep. Yay! It was great to finally see like actual gameplay, and it was like a good chunk of it.
Mhm.
I was also really excited that Saul Guerrera's in it. I was like, yay! And funny that it's before he lost his feet, so I'm curious if like somewhere in the storyline that will happen. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yes, I'm glad Gregory Miller was hosting it. It made it more interesting.
What?
Maybe
No,
because I
it
already
was-
know the person, but I don't know.
the
Golden
host
Boy?
on EA Play was like, I
Well,
was
they kept-
literally like, please take some Valium or something. Oh my god.
Well, they kept alternating. So
This
what? The
much.
the host during the Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
that's Greg
simmer
Miller.
down. No,
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't like him at
I-
all.
Oh, I like him, but all right.
I actually didn't like any of the hosts in EA3.
I was gonna say, to be fair,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, compared to what you saw at Apex Legends, I was like, this must be one of their streamers or like someone that's popular in the Apex
Golden
scene.
Boy
But
I just-
But we'll-
esport-
My main problem, to avoid the off topic, my main problem with people who are not like actually working for the company who do the hosting of these shows is oftentimes it feels like they are like being over effusive and it doesn't come across as genuine, which
okay.
just annoys me. I don't like
well, I
that.
think it's also that thing of they can't probably ask what they really want to.
Right. And like you
But-
have to have a certain energy when you're hosting and stuff. I get that, but nonetheless.
But go back to the Jedi Fallen Order thing. They did
Yes.
say in there that it was free form, like not really canned animation. Like I think they used the example of like with a lightsaber throw, like you actually have to like throw it and control it. Like it's not just like, I don't know. I kind of think back to like Knights of the Old Republic or something where it's just like you hit. I want to do this skill and it just does a animation.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody at some point, I don't remember who, where I mentioned that the one thing I was kind of disappointed to was the combat didn't look as fluid to me as something like the Old Republic, which made me sad because like, especially fighting with two lightsabers in the Old Republic, it's really fluid and it looks like it goes well. But they brought up a good point that with the Old Republic, you have a very limited amount of skills that you can use, and like there's only so many ways that you can combine those. This is a more free-form combat where you can use any of your abilities in any combination. So the animations from one into the other might not necessarily be as fluid, which makes sense.
Mhm.
And kind of what you were hitting upon, talking about some of the characters that you see in it. This is actually a canonical story in the movie franchise. So, which I think since the purchase of it, that's like, I mean, granted there hasn't been that many Star
This
Wars
is a
games, but-
mouse-sanctioned Star Wars story.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, there hasn't been many canon games. There's been a couple, but not that many.
Well, I think the Old Republic, or Knights 1 and 2 were canon until the acquisition.
Right. Yeah. Now they're technically EU.
God, I would love to see Revan's story on like a movie format, but that's me musing about Star Wars and not E3
that would
stuff.
be cool. But yeah,
But yeah, it looks like, I'm also curious, it looks like it's going to be a pretty linear story. It was also interesting that they said that there is no choice between light side and dark side. The story they want to tell is a story of a Jedi, so it's a light side. You don't get the choice between the two where you did in some of the other games, which I know will be upsetting to some people.
now I wonder if it'll be like, because like you said, you don't get to go down the pathway of light or dark. But I'm trying to remember, because when Jedi Fallen Order, it kind of made me think of like, what was it, Jedi Academy games that were like the old school ones. They took place, I think, after, well, episode 6. But I don't think you got, like, I think you were on the light side, but I think you could like make like, I'm gonna leave this guy in the middle of the desert, like type thing. Like you can make like pretty dark decision type things, but yeah, I think it is very much like you said, linear. Like, but I'm trying to remember if like Jedi Academy, like those ones were similar in that kind of aspect. But like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's
But I
been
just-
so long.
Right. I know, like, for a lot of people, like getting the choice, like making choices in games that kind of change how things play out is a big thing for a lot of players. Some players are fine giving that up for certain games, some aren't. And I know, especially in the Star Wars universe, some people really like to do dark side choices. So, like, not having that option could potentially turn some people off on there.
Well, if this is something that's going to be officially canon, I feel like, I don't know if the writers are involved in stuff with like future Star Wars projects, like movies, series and stuff. This story may be referenced, or events in the story may be referenced down the further properties. So
yeah, and I get that, which definitely, but they also could have gone the way that, like, BioWare does with the Dragon Age games, where you have a lot of choice and different things happen, but they always have a set. This is what happened in our story. This is how it plays out.
Like, this is the canon. This is the canon set of choices, basically.
And like Chad is saying, it is like a story thing, and especially since it's canonical, it can't really be like, oh,
no, but
yeah.
what I'm saying is that they could have gone the way in the game. You have the choices where you can make the choices however you want, but they could have said, but this is the way the story plays out canon-wise.
It's like in the Prince of Persia Sands of Time trilogy, the second game, the canon ending is finding all of the fountains and getting the secret ending. But you can beat the game before that, and that's the other ending. So I get that. I can also understand not doing that, because that means that you don't have to code all of the extra dialogue and
and like making branching stories is extremely complicated. Like, I don't care who out there says it's simple. It's complicated, and especially if you want to make any of those choices mean anything,
Right.
And I swear I was able to, in Jedi Academy, like leave someone out like in like a quicksand pit or something, because there I think there was like a mission I remember where you had to like run to like rocks or like debris that was in the sand before you sank, and there was like something like this guy like betrayed you or something, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna turn back, like,
right.
but I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been a while.
Yeah, the other question I had from what we saw was, I'm unsure of where in the game the things that we saw take place, because normally when they do things, it's early game. But like the first trailer we saw, it made it seem like he was hiding, like he was trying to hide that he was a Jedi and like just pass with everybody else. So like, I'm wondering if he went through a period of just hiding and not doing anything, and then when he saved his friend, he decided that he needed to fight the Empire and he took a more active thing. Like, I'm just curious about the timing of it all. I have no real sense of that.
Yeah, true. I don't know where it's gonna where that slice they gave us is actually taking place.
This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of like, I'm not even going to bother looking into anything before I actually play the game, because with something so story driven, it's kind of hard to really put any judgment on it without actually playing it. So
I'm excited for it though.
Yeah.
But all right, let's move on.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't screw this up. let Respawn do their job. Just let it go.
Since when has EA screwed up a Star Wars game?
It is a single player story, so there is.
They can find a way. Don't screw it up.
If you think about it, if this one's a successful one, wouldn't that be the screw up of the series?
That's true. They would be breaking a trend.
Screw up, you're screwing up, EA. Come on. I believe in you. See, you got to word it to how they do it. Yeah, then there was like a 5-minute like break while they switched everybody around.
Yeah. Which at that point, I was not interested in anything else that happened in EA Play. I hate to see it.
I hung out for one more, as like I told everybody the notes that I had, because I was like, that 5 minutes got longer and longer, and I was like, it drained. The next topic kind of drained me, because I mean, Apex Legends, we've talked about in the past. I never.
Legends.
Hey, to each their own. I just didn't think it was going to be a huge thing, and it kind of.
It's kind of like it's just keeping up people up to date. It kind of like new character looks pretty cool. It's basically I think she was French engineer, and she kind of has like this defense mechanic that's pretty cool. New maps, new events, new weapons, and upgrade better seasons pass that listens to the player feedback. Again, this is Respawn. The people are making Fallen Order, so
Mhm.
so I'm looking forward to it and to see how it goes. The game is a pretty solid battle royale game. So
The new legend, like you said, Watson, who I think they said this is going to be them starting to bring in story, because she was, I guess the story behind Apex Legends is these legends that were brought into this stadium-like place. Her father, I believe it was father, actually created the stadium, and she grew up in it. And like I guess they were saying there's unique dialogues between like some of the other legends and her, like because she grew up around these people, like being here, them being the heroes and stuff. So I was like that's pretty cool that now they're, I guess, infusing more story to it.
Wait,
Yeah.
did they just yoink the old League of Legends lore and update it to sci-fi?
I don't know.
What?
oh yeah, whose background was that?
No, like this arena was built, and these legends fight in the arena for stuff, and it's just like it's literally like the League of Summoners from the old League of Legends lore from before the retcon.
So they don't
This
use it
battle
anymore. So it was
royale.
open for Apex to take.
No. They didn't copy League of Legends. They copied Heroes of the Storm.
Oh.
That's neither here nor
Rabbit hole.
And Chad is saying it's based on the Titanfall universe.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, it is the setting, but from the sounds of it, like, I guess
It's not new, basically.
yeah. But I do like the sound of Watson, and for people, I have from this whole time seen people spelling it wrong, like even on the E3 thing. They did put it as a double T, which kudos to them, because since it's dealing with electricity and stuff like that, like Watson.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the electric fencing she puts up and stuff is cool. I like
Can you
that
not?
concept.
That's my headset cable. Thank you.
oh, I was like, oh, geez, just telling early off, huh? You're like,
No,
could you just
no.
not talk about the
Women,
defensive
shut up.
abilities of Watson? But
Anyways.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't get grabbed by it too much because I just never. Battle Royale and another Battle Royale, I was just kind of basically there to collect information.
Mhm.
Insert Oprah meme here.
Right.
Okay, I was given time to insert it.
Well,
Right.
and you get a battle royale, and you get a battle royale.
Everybody.
And
gets
once again,
that.
another 5-minute break or so for them to change the.
Which,
Sets.
oh my god.
Which at that
was
point I was.
really necessary.
Well, I think, well, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, at that point I kind of bowed out. I know it was Battlefield 5 up next, but at that point I was just like, I
Yeah.
can't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battlefield 5 is just, I think it was like a DLC or just improvements, I think it was.
New map,
Oh,
maybe?
so
I think
not-
I vaguely remember something
It's
about a
probably-
new map.
Yeah, that would make sense. Then I guess we could just go down the line. So they did talk a little bit about Anthem about some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was
Wait,
like
what?
2-3 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't on the schedule.
Oh. Well,
They're
now I'm
going off
upset
the
that I
schedule?
didn't watch the rest because all I saw were sports games, and I was like, screw it.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah, they were probably like, we have it playable on the show floor. We don't got anything to announce.
no,
Great.
they were talking about
Like-
they're just talking about how they're like working on stuff. But there
we
is a
still all are here at the
Yeah.
office.
But there was a bit. I was so sad when I saw this video. It's like, it was a clip. I think it was 2-3 minutes about, and the title was like something along like Anthem at E3 is like depressing. Sounds like depressing. Something really depressing. It's like so sad. But anyway, Yeah, they basically said they're working on all the fixes that are coming.
Well, they have a big update coming soon, which is Cataclysm, and they have the PTS up with it right now for people to play. So
thing is, they took off the roadmap from their site as from what I remember.
Oh, really?
A couple, yeah, either last week or sometime around there. But yeah, it sounds like they just got a lot of work to do because all the things that they planned are basically blocked because of all the issues that they had.
Right.
Yeah. And
which happens so often with online games. It's crazy.
Just as a side note, I think Anthem could have been really good. It needed like at least 6 more months though.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like they had the solid gameplay of it. Like the gameplay of the game was solid. It was just like everything surrounding that was terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it pretty much. And we have, what was it? FIFA, Madden, and Sims 4.
Which is more of the same that there's been for the last 20
Updating
years.
rosters, making Sweat look better.
I will say for
and then there's the sports games.
Yeah, for FIFA they were like they incorporated more of the urban background, but like I think they've been doing that for a while now. But yeah, that's about it. I know like some pretty popular ballers were there, so that's pretty cool. And Sims 4 is kind of like a tropical island type of expansion, I guess, or like a game. I know like the girl there turned into a mermaid at the end, and so so like okay, that's gonna be very weird. And then there were kids in the game too, so I don't know how I feel about that. I know the way some people play The Sims, so anyway.
I mean, original Sims, they used to like building a enclosed room with a roof with no way in or out or no light, and just put a person in there and see how
that type of darkness.
Yeah.
So
fun.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing that I quit playing The Sims because
yeah,
sounds it.
Yeah, no matter what, like when I hear Sims stories, it's kind of like that. And Madden, I didn't really pay much attention to, honestly, but it's probably more improvements, better
physics and all that stuff. Probably kind of
more Madden.
A story mode probably wasn't that the popular thing like 2 years ago or last year or something. Every sports game had a story mode.
But hey,
updated roster, but
you get that NFL money, so
yeah. But yeah, that was kind of it for EA Play. The next one up was the Microsoft conference. That happened on Sunday, June 9th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And the first thing I think they showed was Outer Worlds, which we've seen things of, like
that's
trailers
the
of it.
One being made by people who made Fallout, right? One of the Fallouts.
Well, the people that made Fallout New Vegas, which was the one that wasn't made by.
Yeah, it looked like a cross between Fallout and Borderlands.
Yeah,
and
it definitely looks like they smushed those two together.
And it is dropping basically October 25th. I didn't know if that was an updated, like if they ever had the release date or not, but it's October 25th, 2019.
I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing it before, but I also have not been following that one closely.
And chat, you would be wrong. New Vegas is not the best Fallout. I know a lot of people like to say
76 is the best Fallout. I can't even say that without swearing. I'm sorry.
How about Ninja Theory?
Well, this seemed kind of interesting. I think it was like Ninja Theory, also called Bleeding Edge, or it might have been the sub.
That looked interesting.
But yeah, it looked like a 4v4, but it looks like kind of like we were talking about, like cross betweens. Like when I looked at it, it looked like Borderlands, like kind of like I don't want to say cartoony, but
animation
like
style.
Yeah, and like Overwatch kind of gameplay because it was a 4v4. It looked like arena shooter style.
But it wasn't first person, I don't think.
Oh, it wasn't? I don't know.
I didn't see gameplay of it. But...
Yeah, I was going to say, it seemed all cinematic, so I wasn't sure if it was...
Maybe that was it. Okay.
But yeah, apparently June 27th is the technical alpha for it, so that should be...
Yay, technical alphas. I miss technical alphas.
Hopefully, it's actually treated like a technical alpha. Not
Yeah.
like a beta.
Yeah.
Also, I know a lot of I have never played these games, but I know a lot of people love them. Is Ori and the Will of the
Ori.
Wisps?
It looks
Oh,
good.
God.
Oh, Ori.
And you know,
I thought it was Ori.
honestly, I don't know. I always call it Ori.
I've always heard everybody else call it Ori. That's why I just like Ori and the
Who-
Blind Forest.
I
but
don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
I actually thought this game was out already. Like, I thought it was on my backlog that I missed that I needed to get back to. And then they came on and I was like, are they doing a DLC for it? Like, I was confused.
It's the sequel, and Krista has the original Ori, and
Right. Well, I knew the
it's-
original was out, but I thought the sequel had come out already because we saw this. I can't remember if it was 2 E3s ago, but we saw it at very least last E3. And
Yeah.
I thought it came out in the last year.
I believe they did a DLC, and it was I think it was a fairly sizable one.
Mm-hmm.
So that might
See-
be what you're remembering.
And I think that's always my biggest
No, because I knew
gripe.
the name Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'm pretty sure it was there.
Yeah, I remember it too.
And they might have doubled up, and they're just like, hey, it's happening.
Yeah, I think they might have had to push it back or
fair.
something. I mean, that's fine if they needed to, but
Hmm. But yeah, I've heard like the people that play that like love that series. Like I just never picked it up.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's like I've heard it's just fun, but visually it's just looked beautiful.
Oh, yep. It was originally announced at E3 2017.
Okay.
Wow.
Holy crap!
So, like I said, I remember it last year, and I thought we saw it the year before, but
Wow.
yeah,
Are correct.
Wow, that's a while. Huh.
yeah, that's why I thought it had come out already.
Well, there
I
you
know
go.
one that I'm interested in is the next one is intrigued, not like like just hugely waiting for like I can't wait for the exact day. Is Minecraft Dungeon, which is basically slated for spring 2020, and it's what looks like a Minecraft ARPG, kind of like think of a Diablo style game, kind of like top down esque. Like I don't want to say full top down, kind of pointed on the pointed like off to the side, so you kind of see your full character anyway. But yeah, it kind of runs like what looks like a Diablo style game.
Yeah. If you got a free copy, would you play it? Basically,
I would.
I won't say like if you'll buy it or not, because like I want to know if you would actually play it.
I would definitely give it a shot. I like ARPGs.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I was-
say I don't
Yeah,
like.
I was gonna say
original
for how
Minecraft,
long?
but I would
Yeah,
actually
that's-
give this a try. Like it seems fun. I don't know.
Because that's the thing. That's my biggest question. Is like I'm right there with Jim. I like Minecraft. I love Diablo. That's always been my Blizzard game. So I like ARPGs in general. Please bring back Marvel Heroes. I know that's never gonna happen, but
See, the thing is, I sit here and I think, wow, they could actually, instead of just an ARPG skinned with Minecraft, they could totally have it set up so that there are areas where you have to build up a small base to defend against a large onslaught of enemies.
oh, wouldn't that be
Mhm.
great if like that might be a game mode, like a horde mode type thing? Oh.
How
That was-
But that's my biggest question is like because they showed like a quick screen of like the inventory and stuff. It's like I wonder how in depth is it going to be, because I mean while I like Diablo series, Diablo 3 when it launched didn't have too much depth to it, so a lot of people kind of
what are you
ran from
talking
it.
about? There was a ton of depth.
Yeah. That the only
More
depth
depth
that was
than
there was when
PoE.
people threw the copies into the deepest hole they could find. But that's my concern is it gonna actually be a good game, or is it gonna try to ride on the coattails mostly of
think-
Minecraft?
I think
That's
it's
what I'm
going
thinking.
for more fun than like having deep gameplay. I mean, it might, but my impression of it is that it's going for more like, just go in, have fun, do things,
Yeah.
I need that
So-
hardcore mode.
Yeah.
Oh, will it
as you
have
get-
hardcore mode?
Maybe.
That's a good
hardcore
question.
mode, or like there's a mode where as you take damage, little blocks of you literally fall off.
That would be amazing. Oh my god.
Though that probably would be too
not. I'm sure this is rated E for
Kids-
everyone.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah, but it's
little
not gory. It's just a
blocks,
little
then it's
block of
fine.
yourself.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like colored red or anything. Just
Would you say the
Exactly.
camera would be falling to pieces?
It's like,
Yes.
Mom, why am I falling to pieces? Oh dear, that's because you're getting bodied.
Oh dear, that's
you're
because
going to
getting older.
die. That's why.
And that's when the child learned the concept of death.
Oh, come on. If they're already playing Minecraft, they know about creepers. They know about death.
I know about hours of hard work being reduced to a smoldering crater.
Yeah. I think so. I'm genuinely interested on it. I'm not like I can't wait for it to like drop day, but it's like when it comes out, I'll probably definitely try it out if it's on PC because I don't have an Xbox. But
every game
Yeah,
I think is going to be on both Xbox.
was it every game? Okay, I wasn't sure. I knew a lot of them were.
Well, pretty much at this point, I'm pretty sure that everything Xbox is available on the PC through their
That's actually
thingamabobber.
that's one thing that they have guaranteed is that if you can play it on an Xbox, you can play it on PC, and if it's available on Windows 10, it's
Windows
available on
10, yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, before we continue, can I laugh at the intro to the Microsoft conference of how he stated, like, I think he was saying this is the most first party title. I forget this exact stat on this stage this year. I'm like,
60 games, I think it was.
yeah, but he was like the most games on this stage this year. I'm like, you just threw out a lot of qualifiers because Sony ain't there. EA wasn't in there.
Right.
Nintendo's doing their own thing. I'm like, come on, dude, really?
Yeah.
So I went like, so 40 of these are indie games. Okay.
Well, and then the other thing is not all the presentations are done on the same stage. Like there are different stages and things. So yeah.
But yeah, it just reeked of just marketing of like, it's technically right.
Well, I mean, the entirety of E3 is smoke and mirrors marketing.
Right.
Yeah, I know. But it's like in reality, Microsoft actually used the money just to buy the rights of no one can show games on that stage for the rest of the year. That's how I could see it happening. They made a deal with the.
Probably could too.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if that was actually the alternative way they did it. But
I'm sorry,
anyway.
I'm going to try and push us along because I am hungry and I don't want to have to.
Yeah. They showed off more Jedi Fallen Order, and I don't think last time they said it, but this time they have November 2019. I don't think they had the release date added yet.
No, they held that for this.
Yeah, so that at least we had a date for that. Blair, they showed off a Blair Witch game, which honestly at first I thought was going to be a new Alan Wake game.
Yeah, I can see that.
The way it looked.
Yeah,
I was like talking about the story
or
or something of it, and I was like, but yeah, I was like, okay, Blair Witch.
My friend actually guessed like, it was like, is this Blair Witch? And then it popped up Blair Witch. I'm like, oh well, I guess so.
Like, good job. I did not guess that at all. I was like, what is this? And the name popped up and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw the symbol and I was like, seriously? And then the name popped up. I was like, seriously?
It's like, I think that the train has kind of left the station on Blair Witch.
I mean, I thought it wasn't like even well received when it came out. Like, I don't understand.
Which version? The original one or
the original one?
the one that they made, I think, a couple years ago, which was probably when they first pitched this game and started making it, and it took them that long.
Probably, yeah.
I think they can do a much better job this time around with the, technology the way it is and horror being a lot more popular, and there's different aspects of horror that they could probably apply to this game. So.
Right.
That's true.
I guess so. But yeah, so August 30th, apparently that's coming out, so I'm probably gonna purchase it. Yeah, chat saying Blair Witch Project was a meme the moment it came out. Well, funny enough, speaking of memes, the next game that they showed was Cyberpunk 2077, which they showed actually different gameplay, footage and like how. Oh, was it cinematic? Okay,
that was a cinematic.
Oh, but it looked like it was in game, like it was like the cinematic
I
would
think
play
it's
or something.
an in-game cinematic.
and you basically had like a choice, and then it kind of rewinded it with the other choice and all that stuff. And but what really was shocking was all of a sudden, I think your character gets what seemed like killed, and like thrown on the side of the road. He gets woken up by someone, and it pans up, and it's Keanu Reeves in the game.
I mean, literally, I was like, wait, that looks like Keanu Reeves. That can't actually be Keanu Reeves. There's no way they have Keanu Reeves in this game. Like, literally, my brain went through all of that.
I mean, they not only had Keanu Reeves in the game, they had him there, and he came out, and he said he told everyone in the crowd that they were beautiful or wonderful or something. I forget the meme already. Breathtaking.
Somebody said he was breathtaking, and he was like, "No, you're breathtaking."
And but he kind of rambled through his points because he knew he was timed there. He's like, I gotta say these things.
Waves thing, yeah.
And he pointed to the screen and the release date of 4/16/2020. So
yep.
I keep checking every day for when the collector's edition will be available. I need
and pre-orders went up too.
Age.
At the same time.
Don't look at the gem store.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about the game. Like, I really, really want it to be good, and I'm interested, but I'm also worried. So, awesome that Keanu's in it, though. That's cool. Apparently, he's, from what I've heard, one of the main characters your character will interact with throughout the story. So he's very involved.
Johnny Silverhand.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's great.
But I don't remember this game. I think it was one of their indie games, but it was Spiritfarer. I think it was.
That looked good.
I'm trying to remember what it was, but
basically it's kind of like this witch who has like different spirits on a ship.
Yeah, you build the houses and stuff.
Build different houses. I think the objective is to like travel and to get the spirits to like go back to the constellations.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the objective. So that it looked really cool.
I remember it saying something about build relationships with these people and stuff, and then let them go. Essentially.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, one of the other games that they've been announcing for the last couple, I think, was Battletoads.
Which was funny, but
yeah, I don't think they really gave out any new information or anything like that. But
yeah,
I'll be interested to play because I played that thing countless times, but it's nothing that I'm super pumped for.
Nope.
But also then they started giving us kind of info about this console generation, stuff like that. They are making Xbox Game Pass for PC, which, if you're not familiar, Xbox Game Pass, kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the Google Stadia stuff, it's basically a library of a bunch of games if you pay a one-time sub, which I think by default or by normal standards is $9.99. Yeah.
Which I think somebody leaked previous image where the cost was higher, and that they are saying they reduced the cost because of Stadia.
Well, but that's also the thing is because they also said that opened up while they were showing it, which was on Sunday, the June 9th. So you can go try it right now if you so desire. Yeah. But then they announced Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is for a pass for console and PC, and has the gold membership, which is what Xbox Live Gold is for their multiplayer and stuff like that. Currently, they have a promotion going on. I might still be going. You can get it for $1 for the first month, but from then on out, it is $15 a month, which includes basically, so if you have an Xbox and a PC, this would probably be perfect for you because gold membership is $10 a month. This Game Pass is $10 a month, which would normally cost $20 separately, but this will get it for you for $15.
Yeah, just dump. If you have both, just dump those two and just get this. It's way better. You save $5.
Yeah.
It's if you're an Xbox person, it's pretty good for you. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have the aforementioned PC Xbox functionality, so that kind of.
hmm
I mean, it's cool that they offered it. That's
Well, yeah, it depends on like if you like the games as well.
Though I
you know?
think if you if you get this Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you also are eligible for leads into the next thing, Gears 5. I think you get a special like Terminator skin or something for your
Yes,
characters or
the
something like that.
Terminator
So
skin. Yep.
but that kind of led
Mhm.
into Gears 5, which actually does drop September
Which-
10th.
Can I just say, like, the thing they showed was fine and whatever, another game, great. I'm really annoyed that they've switched to calling it Gears 5. Like, you don't take on the colloquial name for your game and just start calling your game that. It's stupid. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
I didn't think that this was the thing that would cause Arlie to snap.
I'm just like, we call Gears. Well, the players call Gears of War Gears. I guess she doesn't.
Which
like
is fine because players like certain things all the time, but the company up on the stage and then their publication should not be calling it that. Like, that's not how it works. I'm so annoyed.
Well then, okay, gaming culture, we need to start calling it Gear. And they're gonna make Gear 6, and then we're slowly gonna unknowingly to them make it a like car racing game.
10.
To be fair, we went from like Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox like One to Xbox One S to Xbox.
Oh, you mean
Scarlet.
Xbone? You skipped Xbone. That's,
Well, that
Oh,
was the
Xbox One.
That was Xbox One, but
yeah, that was the Xbone.
Yeah, but see that they're getting longer with their names, whereas Gear, they're like, yeah, like Arlie said, by the 10th iteration it's gonna be like G10.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think I will pick up Gears though. I like the escape mode. I saw a gameplay of that. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, not to sound like a jerk or anything, but have they discovered more than the color brown since the first game?
No,
No.
Okay, probably not going to get it.
I like I do like the premise of it because
They're in search of more colors.
no, not for colors.
Looking
I
for
meant-
Technicolor.
I meant for the teaser for they showed for the main character. I forgot her
Mhm,
name.
the with all the heads and everything.
Yeah, changing.
So
Yeah,
it's
that
like-
was
yeah.
cool.
Oh, like this is like StarCraft 2 again. This is like Queens of Blades
Yeah.
scenario here. It's like
Yeah.
I like it. I dig it. So I'll probably play it just like that storyline alone. That sounds really
Mhm.
interesting.
Also, another game that kind of interesting because I've always liked that that type of game was Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yes. Oh
Announced
my
for spring 2020.
Wait, I need to gush. Hold on. I've been trying to play this game for a long time. I tried to get the
How
Japanese-
long?
a long time. I tried to download the Japanese version just so I could try it out. I didn't
Mhm.
succeed, but now that it's coming out here, I'm like so hyped for it, so happy.
It does look cool. Like,
I need to
I'll
play
give it
this.
that. Like, it's not a game that I've been looking forward to, but it looks cool.
I have a friend who is really, really, really looking forward to this,
hmm
and I'll probably give it a shot because I played PSO when it came out on GameCube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I
wow.
enjoyed PSO when they had like it on GameCube, the original Xbox and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is a fun thing. And when I was like that old, I was like, I can't afford a subscription. 'Cause I think you needed one for the online play, and I was like, oh.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Also, they announced Elden Ring, which
Oh yes, that's a good one too.
Like, I don't even really know what it's about, but I really want it.
it's
I was gonna say I couldn't.
Nordic.
That's why I didn't have many information on it because
Got
I
it.
was like, I looked at the trailer, I was like, I don't know what I just watched, but it looked cool.
So it's Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Yeah.
The
From
guy who's
software.
FromSoft, guy responsible for the story for Dark Souls 1, 3, Bloodborne, and I believe Sekiro.
Yeah,
And George R.R. Martin, which means that this will be the
So-
first. This will be the first story that George R.R. Martin has completely finished.
I was gonna say, to be
You're
fair,
saying this isn't part one of like
Yes,
a
to
20
be
game
fair,
epic.
I don't think they put a release date. It ain't out yet. Don't hold
Well,
your
to-
breath.
To be fair, everybody dies in a FromSoft game over
True.
and over and over.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good. I just like it. It's like you pair someone who tortures people in the games with someone who kills a lot of people in the novels.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now you say George R. R. Martin's on board with it, and they had no release date up there. It ain't never coming out.
Well, look,
Oh.
Miyazaki.
This is StarCraft Ghost right here. Like
Miyazaki has 4 games finished, so
Yeah. I think it'll be all right.
how many of them are him working with George R. R. Martin? Good luck. He'll be like, here's the version that has no story because we can't get the other one done.
Oh.
But I will say
also, I was just going to say, the other thing is, I don't know if there's going to be overt story, because a lot of the FromSoft games, there's a lot of story in the game, but you have to find it. Like, you aren't led to it. You aren't directly given to it in the way a lot of games normally give it to you. I think they went a little away from that with Sekiro, where the story was a little more straightforward. But in general, they tend to like people to discover the story on their own. So I wonder if they're going to meld those styles some.
I love that, actually. I really enjoy the storytelling in the Dark Souls and Bloodborne series because I like figuring stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this.
I have to say, I really like the teaser.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
tells you absolutely nothing, but it looks cool as hell.
Right.
It was just like, and the epic narrator, I'm like,
right. Well, and then like as they were smashing the Elden Ring, I guess, because that's what the narrator was saying, the skin on the back was cracking more and breaking, and it was just like, how does that work? You know, like it's interesting.
It's one of those trailers. It's like I have no idea what's happening, but I'm into it.
Yes.
Like I
Tells you
said, because
absolutely
this is
nothing,
when
but it
I
gets you
wasn't having any beverages and I was actually trying to do good notes, and I put Elden Ring, and I'm like, I don't know what I could put besides it looked cool. Like that, like there was no information like it's gonna have this type of story or something. It was just, I was like, okay.
I mean, the teaser for Sekiro was literally like the winding on the prosthetic arm being tightened, and that was it. So this is just a FromSoft thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you don't know what it is, but it looks cool.
They don't like to give away a lot of the story beforehand, which is nifty.
Oh, that could also be because George R. R. Martin's writing and they don't even have it yet.
Anyway.
But then they actually unveil their streaming service to kind of compete once again, with Google Stadia and whatever Sony's eventually going to come out with that's on the back of basically Microsoft stuff. But it's Project X Cloud, and the cool thing about this will be you can, similar to Google's, you can stream it from their servers, or you could also stream it from your console, meaning, say if you're out and about, like, because it would be weird if you were playing your console and streaming it from, like, that's just called playing it. But yeah, no, you could actually use your console as kind of like a hub for your streaming, which is
interesting. Oh, so it's like a box. So it's like a stream box, basically.
Right.
Like
it'll turn it into
Okay.
Your Xbox or your PC or whatever, or what have you, is a streaming server, effectively.
Yeah.
And you can stream it to devices that the xCloud app can go on, like the Nintendo Switch.
Every game's a Nintendo Switch game now. Woo!
Oh, man.
Yeah. Nintendo and Microsoft are doing real well together.
That'd be great.
I like it. But this is the thing that I like, that I kind of feel they have over Stadia, because there is a sense of ownership to it. Like, you can have the game installed on your Xbox and have it sitting in your living room and you can play it. And if that game becomes unavailable, you still have it on your own streaming server.
Right.
Mm.
You have it. So
like every other game, you should in reality, but yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
So, How about that next console?
Yeah, they announced the next console, which all they told us right now is it's Project Scarlet.
It's
Faster
better.
load time. Yeah, of course. It has faster load times. It has
So
crossplay, and apparently crossplay all the way back or
Backwards
reverse-
compatibility,
backwards compatibility all the way back to the first, the Xbox.
which is
So,
cool.
Oh,
yeah.
I hope Sony steals that because that would be amazing.
they already announced that the PS5 is going to be fully backwards compatible.
Oh, they did. Oh, good. Yay. So Microsoft was copying them. Cool. I'm good
To
with
be
that.
honest, it's probably concurrent design at that
I
point because
know.
everybody's just like,
Let me have it.
I have 5 PlayStations and 4 Xboxes just so I can play my games.
But in the end, between Microsoft and Sony, we both know they copied WoW. I mean, it's just
Oh, that's right, because everything copies World of Warcraft. Got it.
yeah.
Oh, man.
But they are also saying that it will be launching with Halo next holiday, so expect
Yeah.
holiday 2020,
Impressive.
which
Yeah,
I
the
wasn't
Halo
surprised
thing
when,
they showed was really cool. I will
Mhm.
have to say that.
and I wasn't surprised that I was telling people beforehand that were like thinking about consoles. I was like, hold off on it because either if you want them immediately, Xbox
Right.
Ones are going to drop because of E3, some kind of announcement. But I'm guaranteeing you that, like, it seems like they're going to announce their consoles and they're going to announce it for next holiday.
Right.
It
I've been
might-
telling people for probably the last 6 months or now, like if you haven't gotten a PlayStation or Xbox at this point, you might as well just wait. Like
Yeah.
I
Um,
I might actually get the next Xbox console then, because then I'd have all of my other games and I'd just have the one console.
I
Yeah,
am
I've been-
slightly irritated because if people that watch Talking Script during pre-show or something, I remember I was talking about, oh, my stepfather wanted to get a different console, so he saw I left my old Xbox 360 and my original Xbox there, and I was like, yeah, go do whatever with them. I ain't gonna play them, but I'm like,
mhm.
Mm. But if they do make the PS5 backwards compatible, I can actually play the Metal Gear collection I have for PS4.
I really hope
See-
they change the name from Scarlet too. Like
oh, they
Well,
will,
first of
because
all,
I mean,
like,
well, they called it
everything
Project
showed
Scarlet.
was white, and then they called it Project Scarlet. I'm just like, guys, like, do we need to review like colors and how
Well,
they work?
they always do that. I mean,
This
what
is
was
terrible.
was the One X Project Scorpio? I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I know.
Granted, I think Scorpio is a better name than
It is.
One X, but
They should have kept
I'm-
Scorpio.
yeah. So who knows? Maybe Scarlet will be Xbox. Heck, let's call it the
But
Xbox
if they
10.
call it Scarlet, maybe it will have to die so the world can be saved.
Moving on.
Yeah. I will.
Talk about making tough choices to save the world. Oh crap! What?
I was just gonna say honorable mentions. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Honorable mentions will just be 12 minutes. That looked really cool. It's a thriller type of game, and it looks like the Agent 47 from Hitman is there. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it'd be nice to see my college professor.
Yeah. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I just like Age of Empires, so that's gonna be one. And I think the last one was Tales of Arise. I just like Tales series, so okay. That's pretty much. And Flight Simulator. That looked cool.
That looked like so much of it looked just real. Like I was like, are we watching like actual video of people flying around? Like this is just my brain.
Oh,
was-
yeah.
They captured using 4K satellites, I think it was.
Are we gonna skip over Psychonauts 2? Like,
Where was Psycho?
Oh.
I haven't played Psychonauts, so
I don't remember
Must have
seeing
missed it.
Psychonauts.
I thought that was
It's on the Game Pass.
announced.
Double
Yeah, but-
Fine is now a Microsoft studio.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
okay,
that's
is that
true.
where they came
Oh
out?
yeah, Double
I don't
Fine
know
guy
why-
was there. I forgot.
I don't know why I did it. Yeah. I never play a Psychonauts game, so
Honestly, I'm just hoping that this means that Microsoft will fund a Brutal Legend 2.
possible, yeah.
I-
Well, you didn't like Brutal Legend?
It's because EA gutted the entire third act in order to have it hit a deadline.
maybe
Right.
that's very. I don't know. I'd have to go back and I'm just like, eesh. Though no, the beginning part was pretty good. So yeah, it's probably that reason.
Like, because the game goes from Act 2 boss fight end to Act 3 boss fight end finale. Like
Okay.
they skip an entire for Brutal Legend. It's
odd.
There's so much story missing that it's ridiculous.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
Well,
those are my.
yeah,
honorable-
I'll say for sake of time, because we still have a lot
so
of stuff to go through.
Bethesda, nothing of value.
Whoa!
Whoa, no.
Pete
There
Hyde was
were-
in the audience.
there was actually some cool stuff, but
Well,
I think it
the
was all
first thing I think
ESO
they
stuff.
talked about, they talked about like overarching stuff, but you know, the community was great, all that stuff, but the first thing they announced was or talked about was Elder Scrolls Blades, kind of updates on there, which they're adding like a custom jewelry system, solo arena battles, new quest lines, little stuff like that. No.
Yeah.
But apparently it's coming, kind of going what Ron was saying of every game's a Nintendo game. It is coming to the Switch fall 2019. So,
yeah.
and
And then
Fallout 76.
And
we
then-
talked about that. And they're having the Wastelanders update, which will be fall 2019, which will have new quests, weapons, human NPCs. I can't believe that's a selling point. Dialogue trees.
to go with the
Dialogue
human
trees?
to go with the human NPCs.
Yes.
Dialogue trees is really one of the things that they're like, guess what?
Yeah,
Oh
it was on
my
it was on the video card, and they even did like a zoom in like impact hit of the bullet points coming in,
Aw.
and they're just like NPCs, dialogue trees, quests, and I'm just like,
I was so perplexed by the terminology human NPC. I legit looked it up just to see like if there's a difference with the human in front of it.
well, I think what
But
they're
it's-
saying is that it's like actual humans, not like robots
Right.
Yeah.
in Fallout. So
Which is just like, wow, they're just okay, never mind. I am an idiot. but yeah, and do you want to talk about the battle royale as well?
Well, I was to say before we get to it,
Or is
because
there-
well, actually, no, that would probably lead into it because they said it was going to be a part of it anyway. They did announce a new game mode, which will be Nuclear Winter, which is basically a battle royale. It'll be 52 players, and if you're watching live right now, I don't know when we'll get this up on YouTube, but it might be after the deadline. But this week, which basically from, I believe it was basically this week, so the 10th to, let's just say
17th?
Sunday the 16th, maybe Monday.
Yeah.
Or it says right there, 10 to the 17th. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a sneak peek of it, and if you were ever interested, we'll just get out of the way right now. If you were ever interested in it, this or the core Fallout 76 game, you can get it. You can do for that 10 to the 17th have a free trial of the game. But yeah, the new game mode, the battle royale. What do you guys think?
they missed a huge opportunity in making it 52 players. It should have been 76.
Probably the
That's true.
servers couldn't handle it.
There's that too.
Yeah. This kind of goes back to, I think it was an interview saying that you could put out, I think it was Todd Howard that said it. It's like you put out a game and then do the updates later. But I'm like, should have been in Fallout 76 in the beginning, the Wastelands
Well-
bit with the human NPCs and the dialogue. I'm like, and then you add more story to it as actual DLC. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought you were going to talk about the new game mode because like, a lot
Oh,
of
no,
people are
not
like
the
so
game mode,
excited for it, but it's like it's never a game that I've been super excited for. Like more power to the people that love it, but
oh, there are
yeah,
people-
like when they first announced Fallout 76, I'm like, it's a survival game which was popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, they just added a game mode of Battle Royale, the game mode that is popular at the time. Like, it's like
It's not even that. They're missing the boat on
Yeah.
the popular game because survival game
They're
modes
like
haven't been-
paddling after the boat.
they're like on their cobbled together raft with the makeshift
But-
oar.
they're using Fallout as a way to bring people in. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
Which I think
survival
in the
games at the
long
time
run-
were in the same stance of pretty much, because this is like the tertiary generation of everything that's just pumping out a battle royale.
Right.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, making it a Fallout game was probably a mistake, because if they made this game and released it, but it wasn't Fallout, it would have had a different reaction, because a lot of the reaction was people upset because they were expecting Fallout. And like, while it was set there, it was not a Fallout game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Hmm. I mean, if people enjoy the new stuff, great, but it doesn't really entice me to play it after all the hardships that it's been through, especially not even like outside the game with like the canvas bag and all that stuff. Like that doesn't incite confidence in me just yet. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Also, a new game that was announced, which definitely seemed interesting. It was Ghostwire Tokyo, and
So,
yeah, I don't think it really had much information. It was just kind of like a little bit of a I don't think it was gameplay. It looked pretty much cinematic trailer, but it's kind of like almost like a secret society type thing, like supernatural-esque type thing. It seemed like.
when I tell people about this game, I say, think about the Rapture meeting Japanese folklore.
Okay, I'm interested.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think the concept looks really cool. That just kind of like the spiritual sense after like people are disappearing left and right, and it has my attention. I want to see more, but it definitely has my attention.
I just like you got me with Japanese lore, and I'm sold. That's one of the reasons I like Sekiro.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna have to watch the videos on that. I will admit I'm happy to see Commander Keen coming back. I know y'all probably, I don't know if any of you have played that, the original.
I've heard about it. I have never played it.
It was a platforming game on computers a really long time ago. I played it when I was a kid. I am happy to see it, and watching that video. It looks like it's the original Commander's kids
Yeah.
in this
I think
game.
that's what they
So
said.
I think that's hilarious, and I might pick it up, but I don't know. That depends. I already have enough crap on my phone, so.
And I will
You
say
guys
for
have
any
phones?
ESO players, Elder Scrolls Online players, it was just kind of wrapping up Elsewhere that just dropped, and kind of teasing at the year of content that they're going to produce leading up to the next chapter releasing. And they kind of showed off kind of a big hero that we thought was dead or something, which was Sai Sahan, which I will just say this. Supposedly you have an option of killing him or someone else. So people are asking, well, what if I kill the other person? So people are speculating that that's the person that'll be there, maybe. But what you're asking, so why is the person that you killed gonna be there? Well, in Elsewhere, they've just introduced necromancers as a playable class. They've always been there as a, bad magic type
exist.
thing. Yeah, so that could be something to do with that. Who knows? But they really didn't tell much information. Just different DLCs and stuff coming out. So not too much to really talk about for people that don't normally play it. But it seems like Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their card game, is doing a Moons of Elsewhere. Kind of sounds like in combination with ESO's content drop.
Mm-hmm.
Rage 2 Rise of the Ghosts expansion just looked like more shooty bang bang. I mean,
Yeah.
Yay. Shooty bang bang.
I'm surprised Wolfenstein's
Damn it,
actually
now
bringing
it's
out
gonna be
2
stuck in
new
my head for the
games.
day.
Thanks.
They're bringing out 2 new games, Cyber Pilot and Youngblood, which Youngblood is slated for July 26th.
Oh, is it? Oh, man,
I think that's what they said, yeah.
Yeah, I want to buy that. Cyber Pilot is the VR version where you're in a mech.
Oh, okay.
You're shooting people, but Young Blood is like 2-player poke co-op.
Yeah, you're the daughters
Yes.
of
Yeah.
what's his name?
I forgot already, but it just looks good. So I might pick that up soon. I don't know.
VR. What? I don't know. I hope VR gets there. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But also Deathloop. I'm trying to remember what that one was. I just wrote down the
This
name.
looks okay. So you're on an island, and it's like a prison island, and then one guy is sent there, and he wants to like correct the area, and then you have a woman who's also there, but she likes it, and so they're fighting each other, but every time someone dies, they reset and they just go back to where they started. So it's literally a death loop. A trailer explains it much better than I just did.
Because that sounds kind of terrible.
It looked really cool. I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. I dig it. I'm interested in it. I want to see more. It's in my interested pile.
Yeah, they didn't really give out any like information about it. I think that's why I don't have anything listed. But then they started talking about their streaming tech, which is what I was kind of interested in. Their Orion. So they talked about it streams from the game level instead of the hardware level. So like according to them, it'll give out better quality, latency, less bandwidth, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I mean,
so it's more integrated into the game engine, and there is an SDK where developers can actually integrate Orion into their game engines, so that you can get this better performance, and it's better for streaming as well, and things like that. So it's actually really cool. I believe it was like a 20% performance increase, I think, which is really 1/5 is very impressive. Yeah, so we'll see where that's integrated.
yeah.
But we'll probably see it in a Bethesda games quite a bit. So,
Which
yeah,
is a Google Stadia partner. So what?
Well, everyone is at this point, I think.
There's a list. There's a couple people left out. Yeah.
All the major
Amazon Game
players,
Studios isn't on their list.
Oh my god.
all the major players pretty much are.
Oh, hey, they
Oh.
got and that other one that's and who could forget
Let me say all the AAA games, and geez, all the AAA studios, I guess.
But they then went on to talk about Doom Eternal, which is coming out November 22nd. Now, is this the next part? Is this part of Doom Eternal? Or that's what I wasn't sure about, the Doom battle mode.
Yeah, that's part of the Doom.
Okay, I wasn't 100% sure. It seemed like
I need to.
but
I have copy. I have 2 license keys for Doom because of stuff I bought for my computer. I have yet to ever add the licenses to my Steam account.
Oh.
Actually,
I have a Doom VR. I haven't gotten around to play it, which is sad because I've always liked the Doom games.
sounds like it would be hell of fun.
It sounds
It's
fun,
hella
but it also
fun.
sounds terrifying.
It's it's think of like end of the world, demons everywhere, shoot them.
Like I'm used to, so like the last Doom game I played was the first Doom, and I loved that. That was fun. So like I want to play it, but the concept of Doom in VR, I'm a little bit like
Maybe just handheld first. Just
right.
if the first Doom was your only Doom experience, like the look of that might be going 0 to 1 billion, like too much, like VR and like that, like it's
yeah.
But yeah, Doom battle mode does seem pretty interesting, but it's their multiplayer aspect, but it's a first person fighter as they labeled it. It's strategy versus skill, which you have a fully decked out like human Doom guy, whatever they want to be called, I don't know. Doom guy.
Doom guy.
Yeah. And then was it 2 like hell demon type things, and you basically just death match, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's like best of 3, so or best of 2. Well, 3 rounds essentially.
I mean, definitely interesting, but
Yeah, some a little bit. A little extra.
uh,
That's not bad.
any thoughts on Bethesda?
Um,
Very Bethesda-y.
uh, the games I were really interested in were Ghostwire and Deathloop, which aren't really the Bethesda games, as it were. But yeah, um,
Well, the rest are kind of just like updates to. This is
yeah,
what happens when all the games turn into games as a service.
Right.
yeah.
There's a
One
convention where
one
they're like,
year
"We are servicing our games." Good night,
I was gonna
everybody.
say 1 year E3 is gonna have no new games announced. It's just gonna be all like updates for current existing games.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Ubisoft has the best live services that I've seen so far. But yeah, anyway.
But on Sunday was the June 9th at 7 p.m. was Devolver Digital. Did anybody watch that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Every year I have to.
It's always fun. I will say that. They always do something crazy.
I I watched for the games, but I also like I'm half there for the show, the saga. I'm not gonna lie, it's so good. I told someone at work, it's like you need to watch these if you haven't. It's like start at 2017 and work your way up to this year. They basically ended the show with a Terminator sequence. So like,
Oh,
Wait, they threw somebody in a vat of molten metal?
Yes.
mm, more like a "come with me if you want to live" line. Type
Okay.
of deal,
Oh.
but yeah.
That's slightly disappointing.
But the two games from there I enjoyed were Carry On, which is basically you are I guess a mutant creature who is literally going through colonies and just like eating people. It's a platformer type of game. It just look interesting because like it's usually you're the one stopping the monster, but now it's just the opposite.
yeah.
And then you have My Friend Pedro, which I just need to get eventually because it's just a guy shooting people and doing the Matrix moves all around. Just looks fun. And there's some reason a banana involved. I don't know why, but anyway, yeah, that's what I got.
Anybody else with Devolver Digital stuff? This is where I started checking out of shows.
You've been like, I'm all E3'd out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I would also like
Okay.
to point out that there are 3 Terminator references at the C3.
Yeah, the Gears one. I guess that thing you're talking about. What's the?
Gears, Devolvers, and Ubisoft,
Oh.
which we'll get.
All right, and yeah, the other thing that came out, the E3 VR showcase. I think I was interested in it, but the problem is with showing off VR is,
Hard.
yeah, how are you? It's like, let's see how this is 3D, guys. On everybody's watching a 2D screen. It's like, well,
Yeah.
something that you have to have your hands on for. So it's like, I don't know. I'm once again, like I was saying earlier, I'm hopeful for VR. I like to see it improve and stuff. I'm kind of interested in the Quest and stuff like that, so I might go back to see if there's information on that. And
Yeah, I
But,
didn't pay much attention to that one.
the other one was the PC gaming show,
Yeah.
which
I think we need to narrow this one down because there were a lot.
yeah, I
of
would say there was I I have to give him credit because this was like pretty much all like a lot of indie games, which I guess is like the kind of leftovers, because if there's any publishers involved, it's like going to EA or like it's going to be on Ubi stage or Microsoft stage or EA's or.
Yeah.
But it's like it was a lot of just indie games, which if that's your scene, definitely check out the PC gaming show. I think there was a lot of cool options there.
Yeah. I think I have a list of some of them. So one Arlie is excited for is Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Oh, yes. There we go.
So they showed off that. Basically, you are a vampire and you're learning all the abilities and stuff. So
Right. And there's like 12 think it's 12 different clans. You get to pick which clan you're a part of, and all the clans have different aspects that are enhanced or whatever, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And then another game I saw was Starmancer. That looked really cool. Basically, you are you're creating a colony of ships, and you can like put trees and make bedrooms, all that stuff. But you can also get invaded by space pirates and all that stuff. And then people could die, and then you might have to restart and all that stuff. So it's basically a space similar, top-down, pixelated.
Let's say kind of. I remember seeing that. It was almost like a graphical increase to like FTL a little bit. Like you can create and like people can invade it, and like you have to take care of it. And
that's pretty. Yeah, I found that really
it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like Chad's saying, so, there was definitely interesting games in the PC game show, but it just was a cringe fest the whole time. It is just like a it's just the format of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going top.
Oh, Chad's saying it's like Dwarf Fortress in space. That's
pretty good.
I don't think anyone can really argue with that concept.
Yeah.
Just as long as you can create a cat-based economy, I'm okay with it.
Maybe.
Not sure, but get on that, people.
Another one was Midnight Ghost Hunt. Now, this is basically spirits in a house, and there are 4 exterminators that are trying to capture all the ghosts. But the ghosts can go into objects and like manipulate them to like attack the hunters. And at midnight, the ghosts become super powerful, and then the hunters have to survive at that point.
So it's PvP prop hunt?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's basically like I think that someone did an interview with them later and saying that like they were definitely fans and were inspired by prop hunt, but it is like you said, the sense of they can fight back. And I didn't even know about the other part where it's like prop hunt meets what is it, Deceit, I think is the other game, where basically you're mutants, or there's 2 people, or depending on how many people we have, one of them like they're gonna be like mutants that drink blood, and they can transform if they drink enough blood. So it's like it's kind of like along those lines, like, and I think there's a concept of like the power can go out and stuff like that, so you can make your.
So you mean evolve?
Yeah, but people actually play this one.
Wow.
What? No one did. Don't ooh.
I played it a little bit. I mean,
You will probably play Minecraft Dungeons more than you play Evolve.
maybe actually, yeah. Next one up was Planet Zoo. It's basically a zoo tycoon.
But
a planet.
Yeah.
High five, Arlie.
But yeah, this is made by someone I know. It's actually Fox, by the way. No thanks. Who's did some animations in this game.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I'll probably check that out. Another one is Songs of Conquest. I'm not sure what this game's about.
Which one was the one Fox worked on? It's like because my
Planet Zoo.
Planet Zoo.
Planet Zoo.
Okay.
Yeah. So from what I understood, because I just saw, I heard like a cool shanty anthem song going on during the trailer. I'm like, I'm gonna probably get this game. I don't know what it's about, but it sounds cool. Like I like the music. But from what it sounds like you have a village or a kingdom. It's a pixel game, but you could defend it from attackers and things like that. So that's what it looks like to be. I don't really know the premise, but I just like the trailer, so it's on my list. There you go.
What was that last one? Sorry,
Songs of
Conquest. Okay.
Yeah. And then last one on my list is Man Eater, which is the shark game.
Oh, the shark RPG
Yes.
type thing, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just gonna be for memes. That's just gonna be fun, pass the time. I'm enjoying. Like
that sounds like something like akin, like just conceptually, it sounds very Goat Simulator.
yeah.
Though with slightly more depth, like at least from no pun intended.
Bad ocean.
But at least from what they showed off, like you could actually like level up things and not just.
Yeah. the tail, fins. You can get like legs, I think, too, to get on land to eat people too. Like, there's a bunch of yeah, yeah. But that's and since Dayo's here, Warframe Railjack.
Well,
26.
I was gonna say I was gonna throw it in as a joke of you know Warframe was there. All they did was show off. I don't even know if it was any new for footage, maybe a little bit, but it was like a maybe minute trailer, and it was just them saying that basically then saying like, hey, we're gonna show the rest off and more information at TennoCon. But what we do know is it's no longer called Railjack, it's Imperium.
Okay.
Is the actual like official title of the next update. So that was like Railjack was the code name, but there wasn't that much news coming from it except it's like we're gonna show it off at TennoCon, which you know will be on July and
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, and also if you watch it on, I guess let people know if you do watch it, 30 minutes of any of their streams at TennoCon that they'll do on Twitch. So just twitch.tv/Warframe. I think 30 minutes you get a Lotus Ephemera, which is kind of, think of like for Guild Wars 2 people, like an aura type thing that like as you walk it leaves a trail. And for that 30 minutes, you do get Necros Prime.
I need that, so I'll probably hang out and watch. Well, I have to anyway for Warframe podcast.
Yeah, because we will
Hashtag
be
subtle plug.
yeah. We'll be doing a Warframe podcast here. Our plan is
Next month,
after
actually.
after TennoCon, like that's gonna be like where we start this thing after that. So, so all that fun stuff. But also another one I think I popped in at the very quickly was limited run games, which it looked like. Remember Eiffel 65 where everybody was like paper like audiences, or like an old like Nintendo game where like the audience is like literally like flat paper, like you turn the camera you could see like it's just flat. That's what it was. And like I was like, what's just going on? I really didn't stick around. I was just like weird, like kind of just like, okay, I'm over it. But
Interesting.
yeah, but honestly, no offense to limited run games, I bet you're doing some great games. I don't know what they are, but for the sake of time, and I know these people want to go eat or see people because we're doing a show tomorrow as well. I know the big three are the next ones here, which will probably take some time, is Ubisoft. So what in the world happened with Ubisoft? They kind of started with a Watch Dogs trailer. Watch Dogs, what is it, Legion?
Yes.
There's also just a whole lot of Tom Clancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much Tom Clancy this year.
I feel like very often Ubisoft is very heavy on the Tom Clancy.
Oh, by the way, Tom Clancy games are not political.
No.
According to Ubisoft, it's not meant to, like, Tom Clancy games are not meant to make a political statement whatsoever.
Really?
That is an official statement from Ubisoft.
But okay.
This is like David Cage saying that Detroit Become Human isn't about racism.
But okay.
Wait, did he actually say that?
Yes. yeah. He said Detroit was just about, androids becoming, their own people. It wasn't about racism at all.
Yeah. So Watch Dogs,
good segue.
I as you know, me and Melthanis are developers, and I don't know about Melthanis, but I personally enjoy the Watch Dogs series just because of that premise, and I am big on Watch Dogs. I have like statues over here.
I need to grab it. I haven't played at all.
I have a Watch Dogs 2 cosplay. Just play the second one. It's fine.
I can skip the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in Legion, it's I don't know if anyone's done it before, but you can literally play as any NPC character you can go into the game. You have a set of recruited characters.
Oh, so this is why I keep seeing stories about Hacker Grandma.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
that was one of the
okay.
ones that they showed. Was it was a grandma that basically, or an old woman. I don't know if we know if she had offspring. I don't know. They didn't show that in her backstory. I think during the
But
the
yeah, it's a cool premise because like you can just go out in the world, and if you like someone or want to recruit someone, you do like things to put them in, like make them think that sect is, you know, a good organization.
is it like a
this-
Bioware game? I bought you this present.
Yeah.
Plus 50 respect, and then eventually they're like, I want to join your underground organization.
Yeah,
and
your
then-
rep grinds.
and then when
I
the
don't think
bar's-
it's like that, but
when the bar's full, you do like a mission, a recruit mission, and then you get them. So essentially, you can play as whatever group of characters that you want. You want to play like rebels, you can do that. You want to play as punks, you want to play as a legion of old grannies or old women.
I mean, they showed some of the police that you're supposedly fighting against as like some of the people you can recruit.
You can even
Like, it's-
recruit the cops too. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Anyone. And I really like that premise. I again, I don't know if anyone's ever done that or tried to do that before.
Would Scribblenauts count? Since you could like try, like I've always seen people try to fool it and like put like some kind of weird name in it, brings the character in. Like,
I don't
does
know.
that count?
I don't really think so.
I would
because-
if it does, I would still say Watch Dogs took it a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, but that's kind of the main premise. By the way, it is set in a dystopian post-Brexit.
Which is the funny thing was I remember seeing people seeing this like with Watch Dogs 1 and like how you guys are saying like they very much try to distance themselves from the politics stuff, but in this one they're like, no, this is after Brexit and everything that went to crap. It's like oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the game. I'm gonna get it when it comes out.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome.
That's all I got. I'll make my. I'm gonna have one playthrough like with the old ladies just because I can, and I love saying that I can do that. And then I'll have my actual game.
Also, nice to see For Honor still getting support.
That's true. They have a DLC up till
Yeah, it's like a
June-
special event. Like in-game
yeah, event
isn't it?
till 17th, I think it was.
Shadow of the Hitokiri, which is actually referencing a historical group of four swordsmen that
Wait.
opposed the Tokugawa shogunate.
Actually, I could play that because I have For Honor.
Gasp! For Honor stream?
Maybe. I don't know if I can actually run that.
A $4 for honor stream. Sorry.
It's a For Honor.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue with the list. Okay.
I would be okay. I would say kick it over to Arlie for Squeenix.
Well, I was gonna say the only other part I would say is they announced their Uplay Plus, which is kind of like their EA Play, or basically you sub to it for I think it was $14.99 a month, and you get their catalog of whatever games they deem as But and they did say that was going to be part of the Google Stadia thing, but also a separate thing as well.
Yeah, and you don't have to. Yeah. I'll also say like I'm excited for Breakpoint, but we already saw trailers for that. Roller Champions. It's kind of if you saw Alita Battle Angel, it's basically that. And Gods and Monsters is a kind of like a Zelda Breath of the Wild game from the people who made Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's it.
That last one?
Gods and Monsters.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to take a look at that one then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of the big things for Ubisoft. So next up was Square Enix.
Yay. Honestly, like with Stoney not being at E3 this year, Square Enix was what I was most looking forward to, and I was not disappointed. Like they started off with Final Fantasy VII, and actually seeing real gameplay and combat for that was just like, oh my god. Like I'm so excited about that. Like they've combined the live action type fighting that we had in Final Fantasy 15 with a tactical camera with ATB meters, like, and it sounds like it could be a mess, but it looks like it works really well, and then you can switch between the characters and control the different characters in your party, which is just very, like, I don't know, it's very fluid looking.
Yeah, dynamic. Do you actually, what do you think of the combat system? Do you think it'll work for people who have played just Final Fantasy VII?
Well, if you haven't played 15, it might be a little weird, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to pick up, because like one of the weird things about Final Fantasy 15 was it was all just like action battle, and yeah, you had the tactical camera you could like switch to, but who really used that? And it really didn't do much, you know? Like the main combat was kind of meant to be action. I think it'll be weird for anybody who stopped playing at Final Fantasy VII, but I think also I'm assuming those people played other games in the meantime, and it will be very, I think it will be very easy to pick up. It seems easy anyways to pick up, not easy to execute very well. Like, I think there's going to be definitely a skill cap on it. I like that you can use the tactical menu while fighting, or you can hotkey things to keep things more action oriented if that's the way you prefer to play. Like, being able to do either works well, I think, for most people.
Yeah.
I was also really interested to hear the entire first like installment of this game is just in Midgar. Like, all of it's Midgar, which means they've like expanded everything going on there a lot, because it takes up 2 Blu-ray discs just for that.
Yeah. What's interesting is that they're making it episodic, and since it's a remake, there might be some slight variations in the story. So I think people are going to pay attention to that a lot. Overall, I'm getting the game no matter what, but you know, despite what the combat is, I'll get used to it. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
I think it was kind of to expect a full-on turn-based game in current year argument is kind of out there. I really think that more action-y was kind of a better feel for it anyway. It's just at the level of tech when 7 came out, it just wasn't a thing that you could do.
I don't think it's just tech. I think it's more of you want to get use out of those sweet graphics.
Right.
So like also, action combat benefits from that.
You also have to look at every game that has come out that is turn-based in the last, I don't know, decade or so, is a very niche market. And Final Fantasy has always like tried to aim for a large market. So incorporating both, I think, is a smart move on their part, because they want the games that sell like the mass amounts. That's their for the production they put into it. That's their goal.
That's what I was going to bring up when you were mentioning that, Jim. I was like, well, they did Dragon Quest 11, but I know people that say that's just so niche, and it's like I think it just hits to what Robin is saying is like they don't want to hit a small market of
I will say though, if they give me Final Fantasy,
it's the Fallout 76 of Final Fantasy.
Oh, just wait on Tactics.
Good.
Just give me Tactics. I'll buy 5 copies of that game if that's what it takes.
So I had another thought about it. A lot of people are complaining about Tifa. I don't know what they're complaining about. She looked great to me.
No muscles.
And yeah, but I mean, I wasn't really expecting them to make her muscly. That's not what they do, you know? Her fighting style, what they showed of her actually fighting, looked great. Like, to me, like I liked how she was fighting. It was awesome. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Had some concern that I can't remember now, which is going to annoy me.
Story, characters, environment, combat, pricing, collections, DLC.
The pricing of the collector's edition is insane. Let me just say that. Like, yeah, you get a lot of stuff, but having a $300 plus collector's edition, oh my god!
It's
what?
Literally, it's.
You can get 2 Google Stadia Founders editions for that.
If you look at the pricing, it's like the standard $60, and then you have the deluxe edition that comes with a bunch of cool stuff.
It's
But
80,
then like, yeah.
which is pretty standard still.
So
Like,
for
does
me,
that
it's
come
like,
with a console? Like, holy crap! Like,
for me, it's like 100. But when you go to the how much is it? 250, something like that.
Final
Uh,
Fantasy fans will pay it.
I don't remember.
Actually, I have it right here. Hold
Yeah.
on. So first class edition, that's what they called it. 329.99.
Yeah, I
See,
think it
that-
was 334 for Americans.
Yeah, so that little bump adds on an extra DLC materia character, I think. Summon materia DLC and Cloud on his iconic bike.
Hmm.
That's
Which is
literally
cool. But yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that was the thing. They did confirm that there will be actual materia in the game, like we saw it being used
Yeah,
and stuff,
that's-
which was something a lot of people were wondering about. So I'm excited about
As
that.
long as you don't do splash damage.
What else? Yeah, I think those were the main things. It looks good. I'm excited.
Did stream die?
Something happened. I just switched to a commercial. It says we're
I hope not.
offline.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Well, I'm
no.
still running here.
Looks like Dayo can't get Stadia. Doesn't have stable internet. That's interesting. It says live.
This happened to me.
For me, it says we're offline.
Yeah, it died for me too. No, it says live for me now. Yep. Nope.
It says
Nope.
live. Oh, there we go.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're back.
Okay,
Sorry
cool.
about that.
Twitch. Yay.
Yeah.
I guess Square Enix took out my internet because I made the Fallout 76 joke.
You did. How dare you?
Yeah. They're like, come on, that's a bit harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Was a little harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's all I have for 7 right now. I'm still curious about how many episodes it's going to be. I think at minimum we're probably looking at 3. No, they originally said 3, but then they've changed it to being like, we don't know how many it's going to be.
I say
Okay.
4.
Yeah, I think 4.
3 or 4.
Because like if they keep expanding everything out as much as they seem to have here, it could be quite big. Oh, that was my concern. Got it. So one of the things that sometimes games have issues with is letting their scope get out of hand,
Feature creep.
trying to do too much. And I worry about that with Final Fantasy VII, with them expanding out as much as they are. Like it'd be great to learn and have a more in-depth story and see more things, but I worry about them trying to do too much. That's my concern.
That's fair.
Give me all the things.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's it for me with Final Fantasy VII. Do you guys have anything to add on that?
Final Fantasy VIII Remastered.
Well, that was my next thing.
I
Yeah, she just
assumed
said
that's the next
7.
We have all the Final Fantasies.
thing. It leads into
Like
it.
Chad said earlier, there was about 5 million remasters and like 3 new games.
Yeah. So Arlie, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about Final Fantasy VIII on the Switch. Like I can't believe it. Like remastered, and like I'm really hopeful it's a good remaster, because everything we've had of like porting it to the PC and all of that before has been terrible. So like I'm very excited about this. Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite. Like 7's great, but 8 is my favorite.
Wasn't it one of the most maligned combat systems of the series?
It is, and I loved the combat system. I loved junctioning. I loved it. It was so awesome. It was my favoriteest thing. Like people who hate it are crazy.
Fair. Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
I
I mean, like,
but yeah.
I don't complain too much.
Well,
I've
most of
enjoyed
the complaint I hear about the junction system is if you junction things certain ways, you become pretty much immortal, and I don't care. Like, I don't care about that. I like that I can, like, just kill super powerful things. Like,
It's like, I am a god.
yes.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think the release date was like November this year or fall, something like that. So soonish.
Mhm.
But yay. There's also Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. They did a thing of.
I I need to get that game and actually beat it because I never beat it. I was on the last mission.
Oh,
Uh,
but yeah, it looks good. So yay. And
People will
last,
actually be able to play it now. So
last Final Fantasy thing they talked about was Final Fantasy 14, where they actually revealed the launch trailer for Shadowbringers, the next expansion, which I always look forward to the launch trailers because that's like our first look at the story for the expansion. And this one's really interesting because it looks like it completely turns the story of Final Fantasy 14 thus far on its head.
yeah.
Is amazing because until throughout the whole thing you're the warrior of light, and apparently the light is not necessarily good.
There's
So,
too much of it.
yeah. So
What does the light do? Cast darkness.
so what you're saying is the humans were the problem the whole time.
yes. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that played out.
Yeah. What about War of the Visions?
War of the Visions.
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions.
Oh right, I saw that. And I was like, now I'm
That's
sad I
awful.
never played Final Fantasy Exvius because I'm interested. But yeah,
I'm gonna check it out. Looks cool.
yeah, it does definitely look cool. I wasn't sure if it's like an expansion to the existing game or a separate game.
I think it's a separate game. Yeah.
Okay. But then I might check it out too because I never got into the first one, and I was like, if I have to go through that now, I don't know that I really want to. So, another thing was Oninaki.
Looked interesting.
Yeah, that one looked really interesting. It's by Tokyo RPG Factory, which has done a lot of RPGs. They're really good. They're solid. It's coming out August 22nd, 19. Has a really nice art style. It looks like a regular JRPG. I don't know much about the story, but it looked interesting. Last Remnant Remastered, I'm excited about because I never played that.
Oh.
So I missed that one. So I'm like,
I still
yay.
have that on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, it's one of those games that like people who've been playing RPGs and JRPGs for a long time are like, this is the greatest game. And
Yeah.
Go Japanese, go subs on that because the English VO is a little awkward.
Well, it's remastered, so they might have fixed that.
VO.
Or made it worse for nostalgia's sake.
Sure, why not?
That's possible.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm interested in that we didn't see a whole lot of was Outriders. It's apparently a new IP action shooter, but apparently you can also shoot fireballs out of your hand like one of the people did. I have no idea how that works, but it looks really interesting.
Yeah. Has that post-apocalyptic feel to it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. And then the last big thing was Avengers, which they did a whole long reveal thing of, and people are pissed off that they don't look like the movie Avengers and that they're not voiced by the movie Avengers. So
What did you
Yeah.
The whole point is that it's all different continuities. Just shut up and deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a
Though
thing.
I think the weird thing about it is they put them in like the outfits from the
yeah,
movies.
they're very similar
Like,
outfits.
Yeah.
And
Which I
will
think didn't
admit,
help
when
the
they
situation.
first showed their faces, like there was a moment for me, I was like, oh, okay, they're totally different. But I got
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah. So,
It's
like-
fine. It's that he does look like Dad Cap, which I'm fine with. I like
Yeah.
Dad Cap.
He's America's dad. Not to be confused with American Dad.
Yes, not confused with that.
Now I just want a fan art of that, which probably exists. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so it's going to be, we found out it's going to be on all consoles, although there will be special bonuses for people who play on PlayStation. They haven't said what those were, but I'm guessing it'll be like cosmetics, like certain outfits or whatever.
I don't think so. I was talking with Hat about this. I think this is their new destiny where everybody else that's not Sony's going to get SOL with actually
Really?
certain content that was exclusive.
I feel like that
I
would
don't
be
think
the
so.
stupidest choice they could possibly make. Like,
Yeah, but Sony ain't that bright this
I
generation.
don't
not
think.
Sony, it's Square Enix.
I don't think.
I bet they gave him hand over fist money.
Who made Spider-Man? I forgot.
Huh?
Who.
Sony.
Was it Sony themselves?
Well, and no,
It was Insomniac.
thank you.
All right, that was it.
It was
I don't think they'll do exclusives because, like, with Spider-Man, I don't think there were any.
I don't think there'll be
Like a
exclusive
costume or anything?
characters either. Like,
Yeah.
Wait,
that would be a terrible
you're
idea.
wondering if there was any exclusivity with Spider-Man? It was because it was only on
Spider-Man
PlayStation.
was only on PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. That was the look,
Well, there you go.
exclusive content.
But this is
The
a game
only
that's on
game.
all the systems. So, like, if they lock down certain
Okay.
characters to systems, that's going to be terrible. That's going to.
Well, I don't think they'll lock like certain characters, but like maybe certain like missions or maps I could see.
I
Because
think that would be
like I said,
also a huge.
I think
mistake
it
on
would
their
be a
part.
horrible idea, but
Yeah.
I'm sure
always-
horrible ideas get trumped by buckets of money.
It's
I don't-
something we're going to have to pay attention to.
Yes.
To see what they
I
do,
don't-
because it could be a terrible thing. But if they're smart and they just do cosmetic exclusive things, I think also PlayStation people will get access to the beta, whereas other
Yes.
people weren't.
Yeah.
Which I think it's fine. Whatever. Like beta
Yeah,
is.
if they want to have the fun of
who
PC
cares?
players where they play a broke version and we get the polished
Right.
version, okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then the other thing is I'm still not really clear on what kind of game it is. Like, they said it could be single player or you could have friends jump in and play with you, and I don't
That's
really
cool.
understand how that works.
It looks kind of Dynasty Warriors-esque,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you fight a whole shit ton of mooks, and then and then there's like a big boss brawl or something. I don't know, but it
Yeah.
looks.
I mean, there's
similar
definitely
to-
a story from what they were saying. So there's a story to play through. And like, they're starting with just 5 characters that they'll have. And it's the main 5, Black Widow, Thor, Captain, Hulk, and Iron Man.
Yeah.
So that's fine, and they're going to expand from there. They did say that they're viewing the game long term and adding content, and all the content will be free. They did say that. So, which
Though it is
me
important to know
also
because a lot of people were making like the little leap there because they were saying, no loot boxes or anything like that.
Mhm.
But then
I
people
hate
made the
that's
leap
the
of
thing.
like no microtransactions. They didn't say that.
No, they did not say that, and I'm
Yeah,
100%
people were
sure
making
there
the
will be
leap when-
microtransactions.
Yeah.
You'll have
But when
DLC.
they said like no loot boxes, people made that leap, and it's like no, they didn't say that. Careful.
As soon as they say it's a continuing game and all new content will be free, there has to be microtransactions because like there's no other way to support the game long term. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Come on, it's like when you like maybe go on like a bachelor party or something at the end, you have to tip the driver. It's like pass the hat around. That's what they're just gonna do. It's like we're gonna try to release this content. We need to pay
You
our
play
people.
for 50 hours and then it's like, all right, if you want to keep playing, tip us $5.
Making an internal character, like a guy on the street, he's like, hey, just takes his hat off, like, come on. Come on.
Please
You click
enter
on him,
your-
it brings up your wallet. Like, do you want to actually tip up? I want that in the game. I think people would actually, for the meme, put so much money into that.
That's funny.
Dear Lord.
But yeah, there's still a lot of questions. We'll see how it goes and something to pay attention to. What I saw was interesting and it looks good, but
Yeah.
like I said, there's still too many questions. Like I still don't even really know what I'm looking at. That's the main thing.
See, I was kind of skeptical for this as I was with Spider-Man when I first saw it at E3.
So good.
And then I played Spider-Man. It was like amazing. So I think I'm gonna have that same reaction when
I need
Yeah.
to pick that up at some point.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Wait till the
Um,
PS5 and you can play it all backwards.
Yeah, but those are the main highlights for Square Enix's program for me. They did do a lot of talking with their big things, but then in between I love it when like this is one of the reasons why I miss Sony is because they would just do trailer and it didn't bother with talking. The talking is beside the point. Cut all the talking out, just show us trailers and move on. Like That's my E3 rant.
And then show us the next PlayStation at the end, pretty much.
Right. I just want the games. I don't care about the talking people.
Yeah.
I did like the one for Ghostwire because she like seemed very animated.
Right.
Ikumi, I think her name was.
Yeah.
Oh, was she the woman that apparently the entire
The other
internet
person that
runs
was
on?
Yeah.
named
Yes.
in E3.
Yeah.
It was either what's his face's dog, Keanu Reeves, or her.
What's his face's dog? How did I miss that?
John Bernthal.
Ubisoft.
Oh, was he the one that had the dog on the stage?
Yeah.
Why was the dog on the stage?
I
I
don't
think
know.
that was just his
Like
dog.
he just brought
It was-
out his dog? Okay.
Well, it was for a Breakpoint promo.
Okay.
I
I was
why.
like, was there
I-
like tied into a game? Like
I don't-
what happened?
I actually
Kinda
don't know if the dog is part of the promo.
Kind of going back to Greg Miller, he does kind of funny, and they were talking about it. I had the same thought of I was really hoping he'd be like, and here's the release date, and hold up the dog, and it'd just be like written on the other side or something, like just something.
That
So
would've been
because I
fun.
was like, yeah, I was the same way. I was like, why is the dog there? You couldn't find like the babysitter, like or someone to
That's
PA
fine.
was in the bathroom, so you're like, okay, I'm bringing it out with me.
Okay. Nintendo.
Yes. I have Nintendo. Also, before we start on Nintendo, like I'm going to talk about Nintendo, but before we
Okay.
start about the games, one of the things I love about Nintendo every year is like so many of the game companies are just like super serious, like we're big, we're awesome, rawr, you know, like in your face. I love that Nintendo every year is goofy and silly. They literally started off their video by having Bowser, like actual Bowser, come out and be like, oh, I'm doing this because the new Nintendo
Yeah.
America guy is Doug Bowser. His first
Yep.
name is Doug, I think.
Yeah.
So like it was a whole wrong Bowser. It was,
Which,
it was
which
cute
to be
and
honest,
cool.
who didn't see that coming? Like as like they weren't gonna like play on that at
Right.
least.
Yeah.
But like they always do something goofy and fun, and they keep like the fun little
It's
thing
lighthearted.
on. Yeah, and I like that. I really like that they've embraced that they are like the family games.
I mean,
People
yeah,
are goofy
they can be
about it.
lighthearted that way through like little skits, or have their audience cheer at every drop of the hat. Oh wait, no, that's bad, and that's Bethesda, at least according to the fan base. But still, Nintendo. I just want to throw that in there for
Wow.
people to be like,
Wow.
I'm fine with it, but fair enough. Well, we could talk about that afterwards because I think Jim's slowly losing it, and I bet Arlie's
Okay.
about
Oh,
to chew
yeah,
on her
I am.
mic.
All right, so start with Luigi's Mansion 3. I've
Yes.
actually never played any of the Mansion games. This one looks interesting to me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a GameCube. Luigi's Mansion was the first game we got on it, and I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this like immediately, and I have no regrets. I will not deny that I am a Nintendo shill. I can't stop myself.
So since I've never played the other ones, I wasn't sure what about it was new that wasn't in it. Like obviously Luigi is a new thing, right? Like
Yeah,
I
where you
believe
get
so,
the other
yes.
ghosts. Yeah.
yeah. I like that. That's kind of cool. It was fun. It just looks like a fun game in general. So
Like I saw in the trailer, Luigi was like power slamming ghosts around. That's new.
okay.
Yeah.
That
At
was
least- At
hilarious.
least that wasn't in the first game. I didn't get to play the second game. That was
No,
on.
I think they talked about it
regular
as a
show.
new feature.
So, yeah. Is that the end of your presentation? I don't want to.
On Luigi's Mansion, yeah.
Okay. I don't want to walk over your bullet points here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I have a lot.
he's just gonna gush after you.
I'm trying to keep everything in, and I don't.
Well,
want,
like you can gush about what you want to gush about. Like,
there's a lot of things. Smash, Dragon Quest 3 main character is part of the DLC, and also Banjo and Kazooie. I'm buying
That's
this.
pretty.
I'm buying the Smash season pass just so I can get Banjo and Kazooie. But
yeah,
the bear and the bird are back.
they look fun. Like I didn't care so much about the other guy, but Banjo Kazooie looked like it would be fun to play in Smash.
Yeah, and all of the moves are all accurate.
Speaking of them being fun, how about they starting the reveal of Banjo Kazooie with the Duck Hunt dog and duck?
They were trying to screw with people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching live reactions on YouTube. And it was like there was this whole crowd of people that were just cheering at the silhouette, and then when it's transformed, it's like, oh, it's like, and then when it comes in, yeah.
But
So,
yeah, that's I'm super psyched about that.
that's pretty good.
I was a little more psyched about Sword and Shield, but apparently there is some confusion in that there was a statement. There are conflicting statements being made about what Pokemon are available in Sword and Shield. There was an initial statement from the president of Game Freak saying that despite Pokemon Home being a thing, and Pokemon Home being a service where you can store Pokemon on the internet, like the actual internet, so you can transfer them between games. You can only get, like, if it exists in Sword and Shield, you can transfer it to Sword and Shield. You cannot bring in Pokemon from other games. And now they're saying that's not a thing, that they're going to patch it in, that no, that's definitely the thing. And I'm just like,
yeah, that's
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I remember their like little flow chart. This was at the, what is it, Pokemon Direct, or what, the thing that they had prior, that
yeah,
they had like a little flow chart, and it showed everything that was going out of those two games, but nothing was going in. So that's where a lot of people were like.
And Hat, you're right. Cadence of Hyrule came out. It is a, if you've heard of Crypto the Necrodancer, it's basically a Zelda game using Crypto the Necrodancer's mechanics. And I need to pick it up on the Switch because I need to get that.
Yeah, that was the confusing thing for me. I was like, is this a Zelda game? Is it not a Zelda game? I don't understand.
It's like a Zelda adjacent game. I don't know if it's like a story Zelda game, but Crypto the Necrodancer is a roguelike, but all the characters on the board move to the beat of the music.
I was wondering about that because I was watching. I was like, the movement's weird. Like,
everything moves in time with the music.
Okay.
So that's kind of have to play along with the music, so to speak. Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be huge for meme value. They have said they are going to fix the fact that you cannot play with friends on launch.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they were actually going to keep you from playing with friends because there are leaderboards. That was their given reason, that they didn't want you to be able to game the leaderboards.
And then someone said we can make an unranked mode for friends.
Yeah, that's literally the first response that anyone had to that. But Hat said that the Cadence of Hyrule is not a canon game, but there are some
makes sense
games. Speaking of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2.
It does look cool. I will say that it looks cool. I never played it. Like, I'm not interested.
Well, I'm currently watching. Like, Chris is playing, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to wrap up, because she's playing Master Mode on Breath of the Wild right now.
Oh, nice.
And like, there are enemies that will one-shot you at the start of the game.
Nice.
So, Breath of the Wild, like, honestly, a direct sequel with this Link and this Zelda in this world, I am 100% game for. The last, there aren't very many direct sequels in the Zelda canon. Ocarina of Time into Majora's Mask. I believe Wind Waker into Phantom Hourglass was the other direct sequel. And then, like, the early games, like Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Link's Awakening, and actually, I don't think A Link to the Past was adjacent to those previous three, but actually I think it was A Link to the Past into Link's Awakening, but that's neither here nor there. That's me getting into
it was just basically a teaser for Breath of the Wild 2, though.
Yes, but it's one of those things where, like, they're making, I mean, Breath of the Wild, and this is a conversation me and Chris have had all the time, is it's a tech demo for the Switch. It was the release title for the Switch, and it just showed what the console could do. I mean, it is a seamless, like, all of the overworld is seamless. Everything exists within it. It's just like, you know, your Skyrims, your standard Bethesda games, where every single character has a set path and AI that dictates where they're going.
Right.
Which is ridiculous on a console like this big. So I'm just
no, go ahead.
like 8,000% hype. No, it's forwards compatible, Dayo, because it's time travel.
Huh?
Oh, okay. Then why is it called Link to the Past?
Exactly.
You mentioned Zelda Link's Awakening. That's coming to the Switch.
I already own it. Release date September 2019. Like
Oh.
I pre-ordered. I walked into the GameStop that we go to. My the manager's like, okay, what do you want? Link's Awakening. Okay, you just want $5 on it? No, all of it right now. This
That's
Link's
amazing.
Awakening was my first game
Oh,
that
really?
I owned for
Ah. Aw.
this.
That's why I never played it. I never had a Game Boy. I
Link's
was not allowed
Awakening.
to have one.
I actually have the Game Boy Color version. Speaking of the Game Boy Color,
Nice.
And having it remastered like that, I am again so very hyped because like
Mhm.
that's where I started gaming. So
Right. I'm looking forward to it. It looks fun and awesome. And it looked like it was kind of in the style of old school Zelda games and like
Yeah.
it's awesome. So like I said, I never played it.
well, the thing that I'm wondering is it's like the old school Zelda games where when you get to the edge of the screen, it like pauses and slides over.
Right.
One of the bugs in Link's Awakening was if you pressed select, which was your map button, at the same time you transitioned screens, the screen would transition, but Link would stay on the same side of the block, so you could skip entire map cells.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but that I like. There's some ports. I'm interested in seeing Panzer Dragoon because I love that, and I also already have Astral Chain pre-ordered, but that's because that was Platinum Games, and I mean after
Looks
Bayonetta,
really good, actually.
yeah, after Bayonetta, I'm just like at Platinum Games. I will take your content, please, thank you. I will have another. So it's like Bayonetta and Nier Automata, and I'm just like sold. Everything they touch, I'm good.
They also showed the Dark Crystal game they're working on, which looks fun. Looks like grid movement strategy RPG kind of.
Tactics with the Dark Crystal theme, yeah.
Right, and it's set in the time frame of the Netflix show that's going to be starting up soon.
That'll be.
That game announcement was very unexpected, to be honest.
I know. I was like, "What? There's a game? What?"
Yeah, I was surprised by it, but yeah, I wish it like it's just not my style. Like I'm just never a big fan of those games. So
Oh, okay.
And then as a mention, because I was never a huge fan, finally Animal Crossing fans have a new Animal Crossing.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's kind of my opinion on that, Arlie, because I
Yeah.
never played it. But
I know. Animal Crossing almost made it to the best game of E3 because those fans are so crazy about Animal Crossing. It's interesting.
it's like I've never met somebody who hates Animal Crossing, but there are only two people, like people who know about Animal Crossing and the rabid fans of
Yes.
Animal Crossing.
If you like it, you love it.
Exactly. Like there's no in between. It's either you know about it or you will marry it and have its children.
Right.
So
Yeah, so there was that. Also Witcher 3 on Switch.
that's impressive.
Like I never thought that would be a thing that would happen. Like what?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get it on Switch, even though I own it on the computer and I've played it like a bunch. I will
but
probably
why
get
don't
it.
you just make your Xbox stream your game thing to your?
I don't have an Xbox.
Oh,
Defeated.
Well, actually, if you get xCloud, you can stream it from your computer.
Not going to get xCloud.
that's it. XCloud.
I try to give them as little money as I can.
But there's just a lot. Daemon X Machina looks cool. It's a mecha game,
Mm-hmm.
and that looks really goddamn fun. But I don't know all that much about it, so
Yeah.
it's first studio. I've never heard of them before. A bunch of ports.
There's
so.
also Fire Emblem Three Houses, which they showed a nice trailer for. It's coming
now
out
they
next month.
Now they have 3 games that you have to follow
Right.
instead of just 2.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But it looks really cool. The setting looks interesting. Like I'm generally, if you like Fire Emblem games, you're gonna like it probably. Like they're
Actually, I'm
pretty
hoping it's just
consistent with
one.
that.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'm hoping that it's just Fire Emblem Three Houses instead of, Fire Emblem, what was it, Fates, where they had like 2 games and like they
Right. I
doing
don't
it.
think this one has a counterpart. I think it's just this one.
Okay, like 3 storylines in it, but like
Right.
that's one of the problems I've been having. It's ever since like it was the games that came out after Awakening.
hmm
Like we have matching games and you have to play both of them to know the full story, and it's just like
Right.
Nintendo. You
Yeah.
stop doing this with Pokemon. Like you still do this with Pokemon, but like
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that aspect of it. Something else I wasn't expecting that looks like a ton of fun is Mario and Sonic Olympic Games.
that is a port.
It is a port, okay.
Yeah, that's for. I believe that was on the Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never had a Wii U.
Yeah,
But
not
that
a lot
just
of
looks
people
like
do.
a lot of fun. I was like, I want to play that. That looks awesome. I love Olympic Games. Spyro Reignited coming to Switch. That is like one of the best remasters ever made. It's
Fair,
amazing and wonderful. And the other big one for me is the Sinking City is actually coming to Switch, which is cool.
What is Sinking City?
So Sinking City is made by Frogwares, and they did Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment and Sherlock Holmes
Okay.
Devil's Daughter.
So it's a story like style game. Okay.
It's a story game, and you're still like similarly to the Sherlock games. You're not solving cases necessarily, but solving mysteries and putting clues together and figuring things out. There is
Sherlocking
combat in it. It is an H.P. Lovecraft kind of setting. It takes a lot of inspiration from his writings, and like if you know about his writings and are familiar with his stuff, it adds a lot of layers to it. But you don't need to be familiar with his stuff to get it.
Just hopefully without the racism.
Right. Well, no. They actually, in the beginning of the game, they include a disclaimer that they did include that because it was authentic to the setting. But they say very clearly that they don't agree with that kind of stuff. It's just, it's kind of like, you know, making a Tom Sawyer book and taking out all of.
I'll say it's like having a period piece and like.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
What was it? Warner Brothers that did that with Looney Tunes DVD, where they said that, you know, if we got rid of the blackface and stuff from this, we trying to say that this never existed.
Right.
And we don't agree with that, and times have changed, but you know,
right.
This is what they
this
were.
This is what it was.
Yeah.
This is our history. Yeah, so it's a really interesting game. It's coming out at the end of this month on PC, and then in the fall it's coming out on the Switch.
Okay, cool. That might be worth a pickup then.
Yeah.
I do enjoy a good Eldritch horror game.
There's
As my many hours in Bloodborne. But
you're missing a game. No More Heroes 3.
I've never played a single No More Heroes.
You
Me
must
neither. I saw the
They
trailer.
always
I was
look
like,
interesting, but I've never had like a Nintendo console during those.
it looked like the main character was, I don't know, he was too like arrogant.
Well, that's the point. That's the
That's
point.
the point.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I figured, and I don't like characters like that in general. So I'm like, whatever.
Normally you don't want to, like, you're not supposed to want to reach through the screen and throttle your protagonist.
Yeah, like if I'm playing the character and I just want them to die, that's a bad thing for me. I'm not good at games where the main character is not likable to me.
But I'm done exploding about, like, because I keep wanting to talk about Zelda, but like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna-
about all I had
go.
to.
Yeah, that's my list.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well,
have
I
to-
guess quick final thoughts of, I guess, who do you think won E3?
Can I say the same thing I've been saying the whole time?
Sure.
Sony.
because they're not there.
Yeah.
Because they saved
Because
so much money by
E3
not going.
It's like so kind of pointless at the point.
Okay,
But
financially they won.
yes. Serious answer though, I feel like Square Enix did. Like they just delivered on so many things that even though they missed kind of with Avengers, I think they're fine. They were great. Nintendo's a close second for me though.
I have to say Nintendo, but like I said at the start of the Nintendo sequence, it's just like I grew up with like that Game Boy that I picked up. That I got that when I was 5. That was for my 5th birthday.
Oh my god, you were 5 when Game Boy
It's-
came out.
Yeah, I know. It's still and I'm 31, and the damn I'm gonna turn 31 this year, and that damn thing still works.
Yeah, I know. Those Game Boys, the old Game Boys, if you can find them, they're amazing.
goddamn tank.
Like I've been actually looking for one I can buy because I never was allowed to have one and I just want one.
There's one in the Pearl Harbor Museum.
Well, that doesn't help me.
Well, no, it's you're talking about them surviving everything. There's a
I
Game
was-
Boy in the Pearl
Oh.
Harbor Museum. It is charred, but it still works.
That's amazing.
I was gonna say, are you insinuating Arlie should do a heist or something?
No,
Like
it
I was
wasn't the
confused
Pearl
by that.
Harbor
I was
Museum.
like,
What? That's fucking dumb. That didn't happen in Pearl Harbor. That was something
I was
else.
gonna say that.
Yeah,
all right,
that's I don't know why the hell I said that. But it was
it's in the
something
World
that
War II
survived.
section.
I know. Yeah. Somehow Nintendo made that back in. God damn it.
This is how we
Distracted.
figured out the Japanese.
This
have
is how
figured out
tired
time
I am.
travel.
I need to
They
go.
strapped it to Link to go into the past.
There was a some kind of like mass fire or something, and it's just this Game Boy is just like, yeah, they turn it on from time to time, and it just has the logo sitting there because there's no cartridge in it, and it's just like, okay,
right.
fine.
So we have Square Enix, Nintendo for you guys.
I forgot to mention just an addendum for Smash. I know people are tired of swordsman, but I need this guy in the game. I need him so badly.
Oh my god, I can't even remember his name, but that was Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Game.
God, he was an idiot. I wanted to smack him so many times.
Yes. For me, who won E3, I don't think anyone won E3 for me personally. Just
We're
because
all winners.
no. I don't like,
We're
literally
the winners.
like I felt like everything was just okay. Like like someone had some like Square had Final Fantasy, Nintendo had Animal Crossing. For me, Ubisoft had like Watch Dogs with that new like mechanic of the NPCs is really cool. Bethesda had some like Deathloop and Ghostwire for me, and Xbox had Cyberpunk 2077. So it's like I don't know. It's like it felt really balanced for me. But if I saw like Last of Us 2 and like it's coming out this year for Christmas, I'd be like, yeah, Sony won. But yeah, I don't know. No one wins for me.
Okay, that's fair. Dayo.
Google
Don't say
Stadia. Google Stadia.
Oh my god.
I just think they came out and basically gave you an optional console, but platform, you know, for $129. And like I said, optional because you might have the parts already or not. It's just, I think they are pushing the technology like the other companies used to and are now lax in their, you know, just, well, let's up the graphics and all that stuff. And
That's what people want.
now they're doing it because Google's stepping in. So I don't know. I give credit to Google. Whether it'll work or not, still, you know, questions have to be answered. But I have confidence, you know, the same confidence I had back in, because I've seen people complain about it. Same confidence I've had from when I remember when it was just Nintendo and Sony, and people were like, Xbox gonna make a console? That thing's never gonna last. They can't even make this. They can't even do that. And I'm like, I still remember having an argument at my lunch table during one of the high school times, and if Arlie's cringing at Jim about the Game Boy thing, you can cringe about. I was in high school when the
Back in
ninth
the
grade.
day.
Ninth grade, freshman. But I remember everybody was like on Sony bandwagon, and my one friend, I was like, who I don't think was really in the consoles like information yet, but I turned him, I'm like, do you know who's making the Xbox? He's like, no. I was like, Microsoft. He's like, okay, I'm on his side. He's like, they got the money to do it. They like, I just think that Google can have that option too. Will they? That's once again another question.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm excited to see what comes down this next year or so.
It basically, if anyone could pull it off, it's Google because they have the infrastructure. But
Yes.
Wow.
Because and a lot of people say like, oh, on live and stuff. I'm like, on live probably didn't have 1% of the servers Google has.
yeah. But that's it.
But yeah, that's
I need to go
it
eat before I die.
Okay. But yeah, thank you everybody. Do you want to do quick outros? I mean, you can see everybody's Twitters the whole time here. But We'll
For
be back for
people.
Talking Script tomorrow if you're watching this live. I might put this out Monday. Maybe we'll start for newer stuff. Maybe it's not super time sensitive.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, it pays to show up live type thing. Get it a little bit in advance. So maybe
That's
we'll throw
cool.
this out Monday-ish. So
Monday.
yeah. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming out, and expect more stuff from Mad Realms. Like we said, Warframe podcast. Jim's been doing Vote to Kick. We have a couple other things, lined up in the background. So oh yeah, you guys are doing that this Wednesday, hopefully, knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as work doesn't kill me.
Well, that's always the great destroyer of fun.
Yeah.
But I like getting paid, so. But that seems like that's it for this week. We'll see everybody next time, and I'll.
Ah.
Thanks, guys.